much for joining us tonight. Welcome to Dinner and a Game. I am your host, Ray. How are you all doing? I hope everyone's had a great week so far. It is Wednesday, and we are almost done, for those of you who do the 9 to 5. Halfway there. And the half is over. The hump has been crossed. And if you've ever wanted to say hump in a non-satirical way, there you go.
Hump day.
It's the sad hump.
Oh no.
Sad hump.
Sphinx, are you still standing up?
Oh yeah, Sphinx's camera still squished.
Oh, there he goes. Woo! I've called it. He'll be back in just a minute, folks.
I was thinking on the
Just
church.
like a pentagram. Just
I know, it's like pentagram, a devil's head, and a skull, and I was like, that fits.
Yeah,
That's good.
Good vibe.
That's good.
And
That's
got
good.
The money, power, and respect.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Sorry, my computer decided to completely shit itself. So
Yeah, well, I should have put this out earlier, but I had my wife and I had updates massive on our Windows, so I was going to put the whole little make sure you check your updates before you log in because Windows is fucking with everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, it's been a day, but the good news is we are here to play some fucking D&D and throw all that shit right out the window. So, everyone, thank you for being here tonight, guys. I love you guys so much, and tonight we're going to play some Kingdoms of Mist, which is our D&D 5e homebrew setting that we have been kind of creating as we go along, and we are going to be continuing that adventure tonight as the heroes have ended up in the mountainous regions around of the world, and they're basically doing their best to make friends and influence people in the city of Trask. And so we're going to be getting to that in just a few moments. But first, I wanted to say hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. And say, how have you guys been doing? Now, two of these lovely people I just spoke to a little less than 24 hours ago now. Or a little more. Oh, yeah, it's been a strange day all over the place, Frost.
I did want to jump that. Mr. Miller, thanks for hanging out, brother. It's good to see you.
So we have a bunch of things to get to tonight. But first off, I wanted to say, Milagros, thank you so much for being here. I know we had an update from you last night, but we might have people here who do not know. Milagros, what have you been up to? And are you going to be I can't type. Are you going to be creating any content this week?
well, I have been fighting for my life in college. My senior year, first round of midterms. I am fried. Because I also work for my school as a resident assistant, and the end of the month is when like all our stuff is due. New bulletin boards. We have had to have a bunch of programs. We had to check residents. Oh, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We had to check residents' rooms to make sure that they were adhering to school rules, so that went totally great. Nothing exploded or created a huge mess or was found to be illegal. Totally nothing at all. Everything's great.
No one was making pipe bombs in their dorm rooms.
Nobody was making bongs out of 2-liter soda bottles, I swear.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All I gotta say on that one is young lungs. I couldn't draw on a 2-liter now to save my life. I'd be like,
I'm very concerned about that resident. But yeah, so that was great. But I have a 36-hour duty shift coming up this weekend, so I will be stuck in my room, and so I'm hoping to make some more content. I stockpiled a bunch of videos for our World of Darkness campaign and posted a bunch of TikToks.
Wonderful.
But I'm up to like my last one, so I have to make some more of those. And NaNoWriMo starts in like 4 days. So this is my new best friend. She can't do anything except type.
Ooh.
So she's going to hold me hostage so I hit the 50K on top of all my other work. Yeah.
And hitting that 50K is the goal. NaNoWriMo, for those of you who don't know, it's a writing competition technically, correct? but it's
Yeah.
more it's more like a way to help
It's a
writers.
challenge.
Yeah, to help writers get
Yeah, it's a challenge.
stay progressive and keep on their work. And for those of you who haven't heard of it, there you go. Now you know. And no
And
one's
I'm
half
not
the
the
battle.
only one doing it.
No, there's someone else doing it too. I do believe his name might be Sphinx. Okay, Sphinx's camera is now messed up again, so let me fix
my
that.
God.
Sphinx,
Hello.
how have you been? I will make people
Oh,
able
no.
to see you in just a moment. But how have you been, and how is your writing coming?
You're delayed, sir.
Doing well. I am.
You're hearing us on a delay, I think.
Hang on. Shite. I do hate when this happens. Oh, that's weird. I'm doing fine. Outside of weird delayness.
Oh, excellent.
The writing is so far weird. What can I do? Like, I feel like I'm now getting the answers delayed as well.
Well, basically, you've been working on. Already started work on NaNoWriMo, or are you just now getting into it? Because it doesn't start for what, 2 more days?
I am.
It starts on 4 more days.
It starts on Monday officially.
Yeah.
So I am in the process of outlining right now and kind of trying to organize my thoughts and get all that stuff together so that when I do start, I can just hit the ground running. But yeah, I'm super excited. This will be my 7th year, I think,
My God,
participating.
are we
I didn't
nano
participate last.
twins?
I think we might be. I didn't participate last year because pandemic depression, but you know, I'm back in it this year, and my goal is to actually win it this year. So
Damn. All right.
Do it!
all the glory.
Yeah.
We should race each other.
Yeah.
I know that definitely motivates me. I always like being the friend with the highest word count. Always. And I race my other friend. They don't know that I'm racing them, but I do.
I could imagine asking you day after day what your word count is would be massively demoralizing.
Yeah.
I would
I'll just come on and go. Milagros, what's your word count? Oh, that's it.
Oh, like, my favorite year was during my gap year. My goal for Nano that year was 125,000 in the month.
Jesus.
And I hit it. And I wrote 10K in the first day. And one of my friends texted me. It was like, "Fuck you." I was like, "That's right."
Well,
that is Crazy Town Banana Pants, sir. Absolutely
lofty ambitions. Hey, Rob, where are you going?
Concord K.
How have you been, Rob? How is everything going?
I've been good.
Are you streaming this Friday on the Lab Experiments in Gaming?
I don't know.
Didn't I ask you that last week and you didn't
Yeah. So this week there's a reason. So we're not sure what's happening. Shaz's schedule is sort of changed a bit because she got promoted, which is really cool.
Yay!
But yeah, so not entirely sure what's happening. I think we're probably going to play like a Halloween game, something spooky, which should be fun.
Nice.
Yep.
Not sure which yet though.
Gotcha. Well, I'll let Marcy know that I'm going to be getting back to them as soon as I can about the weekend stuff.
Yes,
And-
I want to be there for that too. I saw your TikTok. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I wanted to go check on one more our duo of darkness, the boys from Obliviously Adventurous. How are you guys doing?
I apologize now for my mic, probably.
Oh no, your mic sounds
doing.
good.
Okay.
And RJ's mic sounds good. He actually put it in front of his mouth today.
I mean, we're making progress day by day. I went out like 3 weeks ago and bought a whole new headset because I was having so many fucking issues with my old one that it just needed to be replaced. So I found it came with 2 adapters for the fucking plug-in. So when I run my camera, I have to use the normal one. But if I use the normal one while gaming, my game audio comes through my headset.
Gotcha.
So I have to swap them out depending on what I'm doing for the day.
Well, there you go. Hey,
listening to you chop wood.
It's if anyone wants to get RJ a Christmas present, headset.
I literally just said that I went out and bought a brand new set. I don't need more.
Cordless headset.
Yeah, cordless would be nice.
No,
real series. They're badass.
Plane ticket to Texas would probably be the best thing you could ever buy him.
So buying him a random plane ticket. And Rome, how are you doing?
Oh no, it's not random. There's a reason.
Oh, I know.
No complaint.
No complaints. Good, excellent. And you guys are still streaming mainly? Are you now streaming mainly New World?
Yeah.
During the week.
On the grind for 60.
Yeah.
I think Vargy will hit that off stream tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, Vargy's probably already hit it.
Yeah.
Gen2 will hit it in the next day or two. Brett will hit it in the next day or two. Rome probably by the end of the weekend, and it'll probably be next weekend for me.
And it'll probably be about a month for me.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, honestly, at that point, we just stick you in the middle of us and have you go run the level 60 stuff with us.
Well, actually, Gen2 and Vargy took me running around killing the things that are terrifying. I tell you, it's all that butt puckering moment when they go pull the mob and the mob just forgets about them and heads straight for me. Spin and run, baby.
Deleted by a dragon or something. Earlier?
Deleted by an alligator. All right. Well,
I mean, I'm literally a fucking war priest.
Yep.
In that game.
So you're basically playing. You're playing the same character in a different game, huh?
Yeah, except I have a glaive in here and not a giant fucking hammer of a maul.
Yep. Well, they don't have glaives in there, but anyway. So just to get through some real quick maintenance things here, we are actually going to be doing some giveaways this week, and the first one is going to be given away during the show, and that is we are at the break. We're going to pick a word, something that happens during the game, and when we're going to put that word. You're going to type that word into chat. When you type that word in chat, you will be entered in to win this 3D printed mini. This is the Dire Bat from the Loots Vampire series of minis they put out probably about 6 months ago. And this one is gorgeous. I actually have him printed out somewhere over here. But he is a gorgeous mini. He is probably... Let me see. Hang on a second. Let me turn him off real fast. He is... That's my hand. This is the mini. So he is a decent size. This is without the steeple, too. This is just the bat himself. So this is a very decent sized mini. It's on with the equivalent of a large base for D&D, and you guys can win that. All you have to do, like I said, is type in the keyword we're going to give at the beginning of break, and when we come back from break, we will be doing the drawing. Break will be around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we will let you know when it's coming up, and we will pick a keyword, and you type it in the chat, and you'll be automatically entered to win. That's the only other thing you have to do is follow us here on Twitch. Now, there's 2 reasons for following us here on Twitch. Not just to be entered in that contest, but when we hit 1,000 follows on Twitch, we are going to give away this set of books. I actually have them right here beside me, but they're very heavy, so I decided to use a picture instead. This is our D&D core books for 5e. These are the foil cover editions, so they don't look like normal books. They have the shiny glossy cover with the foil inlays in them, and they come with a GM screen. They come in that handy sleeve, and they are gorgeous. And if you use them as your regular game books, you'll always be able to tell your game books from the other guys at the store because they look completely different. And we are running one more contest that doesn't have anything to do with actual Twitch and is almost over. We are doing a 1,000K. We're doing the race to 1,000K on TikTok, and we are at 810.
You mean 1K?
1K, sorry, 1K on TikTok, and we're 1,000K. 1,000K. That's a number, right?
Yeah.
You're muted, RJ.
It's a million.
It's a million.
So
Race to a million on
like,
TikTok.
be
We'll,
fucking
we'll,
real. It's
we'll give this
fucking-
away in about 17 years. But no, we're trying to get to 1,000 on TikTok, and we're going to be giving away this 3D printed Wizard's Tower. Now, this is actually breaks down into separate component parts. You can see the lines there. There's 4 levels, including the top level with the crenellations. It has staircases to go up to each level. It does, and it has window coverings for all the windows. And the doors and the door and to come into the bottom opens up and closes, and there is a trap door into the ceiling that opens up and closes as well. This is going to be given away when we hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. If you want to find the links to go and enter all these contests, you can go to our link tree, which is in chat right now, and you can find all of our socials. Give us the follows there, and once you do, you automatically be entered to win. Nothing else needs to be done. And like I said, we're at about 805 or 810 on TikTok, so that contest is almost over. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to ship this thing. I mean, technically it should break down and fit in something about the size of a shoebox, but I still want to make sure I package it well. It's sitting over there on the shelf. But anyway, do enter all those contests. We're just doing this to try and make sure that you guys have extra incentive to come join us every night. But all that being said, it is now time to get down to business, and that business for this evening is Dungeons and Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdoms of Mist. Thank you all for joining us. So, last we left off, our heroes were in the city of Trask. Everyone had basically kind of gone their separate ways a little bit. Sugash and Grampak had wandered into the city to do some adventuring of their own.
We were feeding people.
You were going to.
Literally just like helping out.
Yeah, I know. They're just
Straight
like,
up. I got like 50 pounds of fucking meat, and I'm gonna go feed people.
Yep. They basically are trying to form their own tribe for the most part, taking care of their fellow people, trying to make sure that people have it. Because they heard when they came into the city that there is a lot of people going without food, and there's a lot of problems with getting food in from the farmsteads out on the countryside. Mainly because there has been a lot of upheaval in the countryside with disappearances and other stuff. And
I wouldn't necessarily call it that we're trying to recruit people into our tribe.
No, you're trying to take care of your adopted tribe.
No, they're not our people nor our adopted tribe.
You're trying to take care of the
See how
pathetic weaklings?
friendly we are with the party we travel with.
Yeah, like let's be real
We
here.
just- We have
There's-
food. Feed
Yeah,
people.
we have a fucking
Like,
shit
it's
ton
a
of food.
Basic necessity. Life, like
You're
everyone
hungry, Grandpa
deserves to eat.
feeds.
There you go. So they were taken to wander around the city, even though the city guard who was put at the hotel they've been put up at to watch them tried to talk them out of it desperately. They just went on their own. And
Of course.
Utopia, Val, and
Nobody
Aeon.
puts baby in the corner.
Well, Val and Aeon were downstairs when these guys wandered off. Utopia was up in the hotel rooms, and you were trying to help. Oh God, what's her name? Camille. You're trying to help Camille with both keeping the children occupied from destroying the hotel that you're staying at, and kind of getting all these groups of people organized and giving them some kind of direction, because you guys had wandered in here from the Aster Hunting Lodge, which is several hours walk up the road, and you'd come here because while you had been at the Aster Hunting Lodge, the lodge had been attacked by trolls. And no one felt safe being stuck out in the country because you guys had magically transported yourselves there from the city of Ayla, which had come under attack by devils and was pretty much being sacked. And you guys had used a special means of travel from the Aster family manor in Ayla to the Aster Hunting Lodge. If you can't tell, Utopia is insanely rich. And you guys basically had managed to appear in the Hunting Lodge and had pretty much gotten everyone to safety there, but then there was the other attack, so everyone decided to go into the nearest city, which was Trask. And that's where we leave off. So, Sugash and Grampak, you guys are walking through the city. Trask is a walled city. As I said, it's made of ancient pines that are covered in some kind of resin, and there is a parapet around on the there's a walkway around on the inside of the wall. There are towers about every 50 feet that have guards in them. There's only 2 entrances in and out of the city itself, not counting where the river flows through. The river goes through a steel grate on either end as it comes in and out, and as it comes into the city of Trask, it is channeled and diverted into canals that go down 2 different parts of the city. You guys are basically staying in a hotel that overlooks the canal and is directly across the canal from the center of town. You all are kind of, being put up as guests by the Lord Trask himself, the Lord of the city, because he wants to question you about what's happening in Ayla. So he has put you up in the inn directly across from his estates and from the main civil buildings in Trask, as well as directly across the canal from the Skyport. Aeom, you and Val were downstairs when the brothers decided to wander off. I know Aeom, you call, or should I say, Val, you called Aeom.
Follow.
Yeah, and Val, you stopped Aeom from following them.
Yeah.
So, what were you two gonna do?
Ooh. I forget, what was it called back? It was important.
I can check.
We're
Well, I know
supposed-
one of the things that was requested is like new clothes.
And they said they were sending up tailors.
Yeah, so a tailor has to be sent. Oh, Val did his mind thing, and everyone was like, "That's weird that you do that."
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, and like literally the last line of dialogue that was spoken was Aeom saying, "It's really not normal." And we just called
Got
it.
it.
Yeah.
Good place to call it. Val intruding in people's minds and wondering why they get freaked out.
Like, that's kind of dude. Okay, cut. Good night, everyone.
Val, I
Yeah,
think your
so-
headset's blinking into mute, or should I say Sphinx? Your headset seems to be blinking into mute and out, because I have the same headset for work, and the mic is going, I can see it turning red and then turning, like, when you're not moving the boom up and down, it's turning red and then going off again. So the mic's like, I don't know, it's muting and unmuting. Yeah, because we can't hear you. He's going to choke something,
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen.
Kind of, sort
Can
of.
you hear me now?
Yes!
Yes.
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 Ah,
Haha! We have triumphed over
Fantastic.
technology. Momentarily.
sorry. I don't know what's going on with my setup right now, but it's being a jerk.
It is jerking the jerkiness. So, what were you thinking about doing, Val?
I was going to, at the word of the guard, just go back inside and kind of hang out, wait for our clothes, and maybe get a bite to eat, and make sure that all of the citizens and civilians are all right.
Aeom's gonna be
Gotcha.
walking back inside with Val and be like, "Are they gonna make me wear pants?"
I don't know. That's a really good question. I hope not, because I know that pants are not a thing for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe a nice robe instead. I don't know. I don't.
Oh.
I've never been here, so I don't know.
Aren't you in a
Ropes get
gi
caught
right
on
now?
things.
Aeom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Ropes get caught on things though, and I don't know. It might affect my moves.
Moves.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. We don't want you to be. You want your movements to be hindered. So I don't know. Will pants hinder your movements, or do you just not like
necessarily.
pants?
You know that feeling, like certain bits of clothing they pull on like hair. Imagine
Yes.
that over like your entire lower half. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah. That can't be comfortable.
No, it's not.
So you guys are
I'm so
walking
sorry.
back into the lobby, I take it?
Yep.
As you're walking
Yeah.
into the lobby, there is a guard who comes running in the front door. Not the same one who took off to report that that Groundpock and Sugash left, but another guard. And as he comes running in, he kind of like he runs up to the admissions desk, and he's like, "Where are the visitors?" And the cleric kind of looks over at you two, and he's like, "They're right. 2 of them are right there." And he's like, he goes running over to you, and he says, he comes sliding to stop, and he says, "Lord Trask wishes to request your presence. He is preparing a meal in your honor, and he wishes for you." Well, yes. But he wishes for you to attend him this... well, not now, this evening now. I'm sorry. He says he wishes you to attend a feast in your honor so you can update him on the situation in Ayla, and so you can let him know what other troubles you have encountered.
Right.
Oh, sure. Actually, I need to step away real quick. Something has come up, and I will be right back. I'm so sorry.
All right, and so you guys are sitting there, and you're talking to. So the guard kind of nods and looks at you, Aom, and he says, I will inform the Lord you will be there shortly." He says, "It is not for several hours." He says, "So I will inform him you will be there, and you will be able to attend. I am assuming."
The ones present here will be able to attend. Will the tailor be here first or after?
The tailor is on his way now, but whether he will be able to have new clothes made by then, I do not know. But I know that the Lord Trask has dictated that you are to be given the royal treatment. So if you require any clothes for this evening, I'm sure that one of the shops can furnish them for you.
Fantastic. Yeah, you can absolutely let Lord Trask know that we will be attending. Miss Okal, or Master, sort of, former past tense, and of course her lovely dad and me will be there. Our 2 lovely large friends will maybe be there.
He
Just
didn't.
leave it
He
like a
told me that
+2.
you should all be in attendance. So I will inform him you will be in attendance.
Perfect.
Excellent. And he goes.
Sure, it won't be a problem.
He's like, excellent. And he turns around and he spins on the heel, and he kind of like over his shoulder kind of waves at you, and he just like makes a beeline for the door.
I wave very happily back to him.
And
He's a lovely man.
So, what are you doing? Val's headed up to the lift the moment almost instantaneously. What are you doing, Aom, now that you've been left to your own devices?
Oh no. Aom knows better than to be left alone. Aom's gonna go find Utopia.
All right. Utopia was upstairs, correct?
Yes.
Yep, she never left
Yeah.
her room.
All right. So Camille has been basically spending her time wrangling the children, giving them things to do, just to keep them from getting in everyone's hair and disturbing people, and and running up and down the hallway screaming. But she basically is just giving them things to do, and making up things as she goes along. And the older kids are helping out as well. But so, what are you doing specifically, Utopia?
I mean, I imagine that getting out of full plate armor takes a second. And since I know that
By yourself, it takes 20 minutes.
yeah, so sometime for that, because I'm not gonna show up to the Lord's house in full plate armor. That's rude. Not gonna show up like I want to throw hands with him in the entire city. So that takes a second. But then just kind of following Camille around to
Following
see if I
around.
can also help.
So basically, this is the gist of it. Camille's running around trying to get the kids to do anything. As the kids are running around, you walk by, one of them will instantly always run up to you and it's like, "Pick me up! Pick me up!" And when you so eventually what ends up happening is Camille is trying to get the kids calmed down. You're acting like a human jungle gym for the kids. There's one dangling off of each arm. There's probably one sitting on each foot, and you're not helping at all. You're just getting more hyper, and you're trying to you're like, I'm just. Camille keeps on turning around and glaring at you, and you keep on going, I'm just trying to keep them occupied. She said, we're trying to calm them down. Do you not understand the concept of calm them down?
And then just kind of shakes.
One of them falls off, the other one manages to hang on.
Oh my god.
The one that falls off is just like, and then laying on the ground laughing.
Oh yeah, they're fine. Kids are made of rubber.
As that happens, Aom's actually on Utopia's back. Like,
No, but see, and then when Camille's just like put them down, they're just like, well, why does he get to hang out with her back and we can't?
but she saved my life. My home now.
Well, technically, I say, well, help save everybody, so I don't. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all
They'll
fine.
get calm, right? On their own?
Camille's like, you've never been around children.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, the way I was raised is that children are basically tiny adults, so we weren't allowed to be like this. We just kind of had
say
to.
no. Just say no.
No.
So Camille kind of looks at you and she says, just don't help. And she takes the kid off your arm. So, Val, you're what are you doing while this is happening?
I am trying to hey, so there's a guard downstairs that has come to retrieve us to go and see Lord Trask.
He did change that to it's happening this
where
evening.
Rampak and Shugosh went except for me. Oh, it's happening this evening. Okay, good. It's happening this evening, so we need to prepare for that and also find Rampak and Shugosh so that we can all go together. I don't exactly know where they happen to be. I know that they have taken a huge slab of meat and are, I think, feeding people randomly, which is
Really nice.
kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's very, very good of him. Them.
Together.
Just as that moment, there is a knock on your door,
Together.
Utopia,
And
Camille kind of walks over and opens it, and she says, "Can I help you?" And there's a man standing at the door who is in very fashionable attire. He has in one hand he has a cloth tape measure. In the other hand he has a bobbin with stick pins all in it. And then behind him are two other people. One of them is pushing one of those wheeled metal racks that has clothing that's hung on it. And the other one is carrying like a whole bunch of baubles of swaths of cloth. And he comes like, "I do believe you needed to be properly attired for the evening."
yes, thank you.
He's like, so he comes walking in. And we're going to stop with you guys there. We're going to stop with you guys there, and we're going to cut over to Shugosh and Grandpa. So you guys took off from the where the hotel is located, which is in one of the better parts of town. And it is not what you were looking for directly, Grandpa. There's not like a lot of people out in the streets here. It's mainly finer scale merchants and stuff like that. And so there's not like a lot of people walking the streets, just like anything like that. But as you travel for about 20 minutes, you come into a part of town where it's much more humble. And there's people who are, in small there's smaller houses around here. There's smaller businesses, just little grocers and actual stables and blacksmiths, cooperers, all kinds of different tradesmen are in this area, and you do see things like there are people who are who have like open air kitchens in the back because they don't have any type of hearth inside the home because the houses are so small. So you do see people like going through normal day-to-day life there. What are you guys doing?
So would this be like the most destitute area of town?
I think our poignant area was to find the refugees that had come in from the woods with no food, no escape. Those would be the ones that would be getting fed.
Yeah,
before
the
citizens of the city.
There is-
slums, the
yeah.
rundown areas. That's where we're going.
There is a park and cemetery on the southern end of town where the river goes out leaves town again, and the park is kind of like goes across on either side of the actual river. This is where all the canals come back into the river itself. So the park is on the other side of on either side of the river with a stone bridge that goes across, linking the cemetery to the park and vice versa. The cemetery being on the eastern side of the river and the park being on the western side of the river. And so, but in the park's kind of been converted into a shanty town. There's tents, some more, I guess, long-term housing in the form of rudimentary rough shacks that have been built up for shelter. There's tents, there's lean-tos, and there is quite a number of people who are in the park, basically with campfires and stuff like that. One thing you do notice is that the park itself is enclosed by a high steel wrought fence. It looks like it was already there, it just marks the border of the park. But you do notice that there are city watch that are posted outside the gates of the park now, and as people come and go, there is people who leave the actual settlement. They have to show a little badge that they've apparently been given to come and go from the park. If anyone doesn't have the badge, they are made to stay in the park.
Okay.
I assume they would tell us this as we got close.
Yes, because you just notice that the guards are stopping people who go into the park, and they flash a badge when they're coming out of the park, and they flash a badge going into the park. But they flash a badge when they're coming out of the park, and then the guards don't hassle them. But you see some people come and try and you leave the park, and they get turned back around and told that they get told that they can't leave the park without a citizenship token.
I'm gonna walk up
Yeah.
to them and I'm gonna try and pass into the park.
And so you walk into the park. The guards don't stop you from walking into the park. So you walk right through. They kind of look at you funny, but they don't stop you. As you walk into the park is it's a flat area of land. It was well manicured. There was topiary trees, everything like that. It was very nicely laid out. It's pretty much been converted almost all into camping grounds now. There are at least 50, 60 tents of different varying sizes and shapes. And like I said, it's obviously been here for a bit because there's been enough time where people have gone and picked up wood and discarded wood and stuff like that to build more permanent shelters that give more protection. Because as I said, it's coming into fall and it's getting cold, and tents are not exactly the best to sleep in outdoors in this situation. And so people have been trying to put together scrap wood from building projects that aren't be used. They're probably sneaking out and getting this stuff, but they're doing their best to provide themselves much more robust shelter than the meager tents they've been given. But like I said, there's 50 or 60 tents, and it looks like there's if it's a family, it's a tent per family. And then if it's and then you don't know if it's if there's single people, if there's a bunch of single people who've been grouped into tents, but all the tents seem to have multiple occupants.
Is there a big communal stew pot in the middle of the park,
Not
or a big communal meeting ground?
No, not really. It
What,
does. It looks like everyone has individual pots. And what were we saying, Rome? Sorry.
Oh, I just, like a mess area.
Yeah, yeah.
It have something like that.
It doesn't look like they have any central mess area set up. Everyone seems to have their own areas designated. Each family has, but you do notice that there is some people walking around who are in these light blue robes, and they are literally walking around and they check. They seem to be. They have like baskets on their arm, and they walk around, and when they come up to each tent, they'll like hand out a loaf of bread, a wheel of cheese, and stuff like that. And they're talking to the people, and you even Grandpa and Sugash, you recognize this. You see even some of them like it looks like there's one that comes up and there's a family there, and they have a small child who obviously is sick. They're flush, they're coughing, and as you see the person walk up, you see them cast a spell, and the child instantly looks like they're feeling better. And they're basic, and so these, you don't know if these are priests or what, but some of them at least are using magics to heal people, and they're definitely passing out food. I mean, the stuff they have is meager. It's probably day-old bread and old cheese. But these people are at least doing their best to try and help.
So I'm actually gonna leave Grandpa side and go follow their healer.
Well, and it's several people in these blue robes.
So when he walks off, I will, like, as one of them is leaving a family and moving back onto the main road to go to another, I will, like,
You waving them?
yeah.
Alright. It's a woman. She's tall, thin. She's wearing long blue robes. She looks human, but her eyes are very almond shaped. Her features are very pronounced, very very razor-like cheekbones, a very pointed chin, but she's wearing a hood over her head. You think you haven't encountered a lot of them because they don't move around a lot, but she looks like she's an elf. She has the right.
Encountered a bunch of elves in this campaign so far.
So, yeah, but she as you walk up, she looks at you and she says, "How can I help you?"
I believe it is I that can help you.
Oh.
I have, and I'm kind of gonna pull a little bit of the paper that everything's wrapped in aside and show her the amount of meat that I'm carrying. Is there a communal stool pot? Communal
Or at least there will be after they eat the meat.
She says, we haven't been given permission to set up any type of mess within the park, but we could see if we can make it guards to make an exception for this quality of a meal. That way I make sure it also gets divided out evenly between all the people rather than trying to break it down and pass it around. She goes, I will see what I can do. Give me a moment. And she goes walking up to the gate where the guards were. She begins talking to the guards. And another person in blue robes walks up to you while you're standing there, Grandpa. And it's a much smaller person, about 3.5 feet tall. And they look up at you. It's a male figure. Look up at you, and this is a very kind thing that you do. Who do you serve?
I am Grompak of the Blight Tusk. I serve my clan and those who are in need of help. We have spare meat. We figured we would share with those that were in need. And who are you? I do not believe I have seen this dress nor these markings that you bear.
We are it is an interesting story. But I am Galen. I have no people. I have renounced my people. But I, along with my fellows, are a
So
new
pause for half
set.
a second.
Yeah.
Sorry. Out of a sign of respect,
Mm-hmm.
Grompak actually takes a knee to sit and be more on eye level
Oh.
with this person,
Mm-hmm.
opposed to towering over
Yes.
them.
Very much so. He was
Even
craning
kneeling,
up.
I'm towering over
Oh,
this
yeah.
person. So, but as a sign of just respect and wisdom, I'm gonna kneel as I'm carried on this conversation.
Let them not
But
bust their
continue,
neck.
So, but he says, and as you kneel down, he kind of like, at first he puts out his hand and says, "No, that's not necessary." And then when your knee touches the ground, and he's still basically just looking up, and he's like, "But thank you." He says, I am Galen. As I said, all of us who have taken the dark have renounced our family, renounced our people, in order to have no ties that would prevent us from lending aid to those in need. We wish to show no favoritism. We wish to set aside we wish to never set aside any people or any cause due to any pre-existing loyalties or prejudices. He says, we follow the presence of the Night Mother.
The Night Mother. This is a new term to me.
It is a fairly new term to us as well. I didn't
Would
even
you
know.
explain?
I didn't even know who the Night Mother was until 4 months ago. And he says, when everything slipped into chaos, he says, many of us were afraid.
So it started here first.
I don't know if it started here first or not. I know that there are others in other places, and I know that our leaders. He kind of gestures to the elf, like Ashe, have been in contact with other sects, but we have also encountered those who do not condone a sect that is, as I would assume, controversial as we must seem. We are followers of the Night Mother, who is the aspect of the Miss Mother's wrath.
So
But
I'll
she's-
give you a roll if you want it. I want to, like, with a nail, like, carve into the ground, basically a very crude representation of the statue that we saw of the Miss Mother with sword.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Performance, all right.
Yeah, you can do this. You can do this.
I got a fucking +1 to my performance. So
Dude, you have
Yeah.
I mean,
And look at that
I mean,
shit right
I'll
there.
fucking take it.
Look at that shit right there. You're all complaining about a +1, and what'd you roll?
A fucking 16 with a +1.
Period. He's an artist.
You actually, you kind of you pull out a
I
die.
said it was going to be crude, so
Yeah, it's actually not that crude. You managed
He's
to
an artist
depict
now.
a figure in robes, and you show the sword at their feet, and he kind of looks down at it and he says, "You have seen her."
not her specifically, but a representation.
He says the Night Mother is from what our prophets have told us. The Night Mother is an aspect of the Miss Mother's wrath, but also she is an aspect of the Miss Mother's justice. The Night Mother does not seek to simply destroy. She seeks to punish those who deserve such treatment, and to protect those who need her glory. This is unlike the Miss Mother, who loves her children, but spoils them unnecessarily. the Night Mother seeks to make them understand that there is no true place of safety, and that we all must be willing to stand for ourselves and for others who cannot stand on their own. It says, and we are here to provide aid as we can.
So you do not serve the dark and the demons.
No. The dark is... The Night Mother understands that there is darkness, but what the dark that has been unleashed is attempting is not in line with the Mist Mother's wants for this world. The dark that has been unleashed is seeking to corrupt the Mist Mother's vision, and then the followers of the Night Mother are here to attempt to lend whatever aid we can to stopping it. Although I have not seen any militant ends of our new sect, I have been told that there are fighters amongst her ranks, and that this is encouraged.
Is there a sigil that you all bear to know the difference between you and another? Your sect and another?
I don't know of any other sect. The followers of the Mist Mother wear white and gray, but the followers of the Night Mother tend to
wear from these lands.
She kind of says the followers of the Mist Mother were whites and light grays, the clouds and the mist itself. He says, and we wear the dark blues, and for some of the leaders of our sects, the blacks, the symbols of the darkness that resides in all of us, and the symbols, the designed to conceal the flaws within that bring us all suffering.
Well, walk with me and let us start this meal for the others while we wait for word to be passed.
As you say that, Ashea, the elf, comes walking back up, and one of the guards is walking up with her, and she says, the guards have agreed to allow us to set up a communal cookfire and to provide sustenance. This young man was even kind enough to dispatch several guards to go retrieve a large cookpot and a lot of crockery from the barracks house in order that we can serve many people. It says, we will start gathering people to start pulling together whatever resources we have. As she says, but we do have our own tent, and we have a camp table. We can start breaking down the meat now and start preparing it for a very hearty stew pot. She said, we do have roots and some onions, and she says, so we can start breaking those down as well. It says, if you would like us help us prepare for the meal, we would be most welcoming of the aid.
Absolutely. Let us continue our journey towards the center, and I'm gonna look at the garden. Thank you for sending your messenger out. It is appreciated.
The guard is kind of staring at Ashea, like almost in rapt awe, and he kind of like shakes his like, huh? Oh yeah, no, anything for a friend.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna lean down next to the guard and don't be fooled by the elf's beauty, young one.
He's like, I would, you have to do the right thing. People
Doing
don't.
the right thing is a good thing, but do not be entranced or beguiled by the beauty of an elf.
He keeps on looking at Ashea and then glancing at you, even though you're like right beside him, and you get looking, but he's still staring at her, and he says, It's all right. Everything's gonna be fine. I mean, this is the right thing to do. You can just feel it. This is the right thing to do. He says, the captain's gonna understand. There's not gonna be anything wrong with this.
If he does question you, I am a guest of Lord Trask.
When you say that, he kind of does like turn more towards you and regard you, and he's like, "Are you one of the people who came from the hunting lodge?"
Indeed. Now send the person with the pot to the center of town, and I thank you. And I will turn and start walking towards the center of the park.
He kind of nods to you, and he looks like he's thinking for a second, and then he looks up and sees Ashay again, and he just goes, and he's following Ashay around like a puppy dog.
And at that point, I will pass it over to Sugash with the healers.
All right. And Sugash, what are you up to?
So, as how they're laid out, how many people are seen? Like, what is their progression through town? Is there a general area for healing?
No, they've been going to each tent, and it's actually whenever you see there's 10 people in the blue robes, okay, and you see that whenever they get to a tent and they begin talking to the people, and if you follow them around, you see that they come up and they said, "Are you okay? Do you need food? We have these as meager rations, but we have some cheese, we have some bread." She says, "I have a little wine." She says, "Do you need anything? Is everyone okay?" If they say anything or if anyone looks ill, they instantly ask if they can have permission to take a look at the people who are sick. If it's any type of direct injury, like cuts, stabs, blah blah blah, whatever type, then you can see that they apply they cast cure wounds on it to heal and remedy it, and they're rotating out. Out of the 10 people, you see that 3 of them seem to have the ability to cast spells. And there's not a lot of people who are heavily injured, and it seems to be the most common spell they're casting is Lesser Restoration on people who are sick. And so they're basically just trying to get rid of they're trying to get rid of things like it looks like there might be like a flu bug going around the camp. Because, like I said, it's getting colder at night. They don't have as much warm weather gear. These are refugees. The city has doled out. You can see that the city has doled out like sleeping bags, not sleeping bags, but sleeping arrangements, like a pallet and tick pallet and a blankets and stuff like that. But they're still sleeping on the ground for the most part in the tents. So there's some people who are, especially the younger and the more elderly. There's some people who are starting to get sick. They're concentrating on the ones who are showing symptoms the most and that are obviously very ill, and they're trying to get them restored. But even with three actual clerics that you can see, they quickly burn through spell slots because there is around 100 people in this camp, and they've been here for weeks and weeks, and they've been sleeping outside for weeks and weeks, and there's less than. They basically have set up outhouses that kind of dump right into the river. And so it's not exactly a super hygienic camp. And so there's people here who are obviously sick. And these people are burning through spell slots fast. They're obviously not high-level clerics. You don't know who the most powerful one here is because you haven't seen all of them. And like I said, the 3 that you've identified that are definitely casting. By the time you catch up to them, most of them are like they run out of cast spell slots before they get through all the people who are really sick. And from that point on, they're just handing out like recipes, home remedies. They're handing out poultices. They're giving compresses. They're giving people herbal teas to drink to try and help soothe the cough. And they're assuring everyone they will be back tomorrow. They'll be able to help more tomorrow.
The instant they tell somebody that, I'm going to take over the place and start burning through lots of lesser resto.
How many restos can you cast? And how many slots are you willing to burn?
I mean, I plan on sleeping here pretty quick. So,
because you can upcast Lesser Restoration, and you can burn higher spell slots. It doesn't give you any more efficiency or effication, but you do get to cast them more times.
I'll burn 6.
How many?
6 slots.
Okay. With the 6 slots you burn, with all the spell slots they've burned, you basically the focus seems to be on children first, and that's because all the families insist on children being seen first, and then elderly come next. But you do notice that if there's anyone who seems to be well-bodied and hale and they're sick, that they do get put before the elderly. So, but with your 6 spell slots you burn plus theirs, you're still going to be shy at least like a dozen people who are actually sick. And they're like, just bear through the night. When they'll make sure they give them extra blankets and stuff. It's like, just bear through the night. We will be back tomorrow. We'll hopefully fewer people will get sick overnight, and we will be able to treat you as well tomorrow. But either way, you'll be first on the list tomorrow because you've been suffering. And so, but that takes a grand total of from everything you've done there with you walking around with the people. It takes about an hour to get through everyone else who's still actually sick, and they do actually hand out real remedies. Like if you have medicine, do you have the medicine skill?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do actually hand out real remedies. They're not just handing out, snake oil. They're actually handing out things that are supposed to help with cough and some fever stuff to reduce fever and stuff like that. So, what are you doing after that? And RJ, in that time, you would have had time to actually start actually preparing the stew itself. The other guard shows up with several more guards who bring in a huge stew pot with a metal tripod and a bunch of lumber, and then they bring a larger table that they set up, and they bring a bunch of like bowls and wooden spoons and troughs so that they can feed a large number of people. And they go get water out of the river and start just putting together a stew, chunking out the meat and getting everything ready to go, cutting up all the vegetables they have, and just making as big a pot of stew as possible.
So as one of the guards drops off his delivery, so to speak, I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and so the really big building, right? That overlooks the river with the staircase.
The mayor's mansion, not mayor's, but the municipal building or the hotel,
the hotel?
or the hotel.
The hotel.
Yes.
Okay, so
The Swan.
okay, yeah, I think that's right. So one of our friends, he's got a little fox that follows him around. Send for him. Tell him Grandpa needs his help.
I will go tell them now.
Thank you.
You see, he kind of like goes trotting off, he's obviously heading in the direction of the hotel. And like I said, Trask is not a huge city comparatively. Like, it's nowhere near the size of Ayla, but it does have a lot of it does have the river, the canals. There's 3 canals. The river split into 3 canals, and one goes on one side of the center of town, one goes on the other side of the center of town, and then one goes kind of along the far eastern side of town. And you can see that in the eastern side of town, that's where there's a lot more large buildings and estates inside the walls. And that seems to be where probably where the majority of nobles and people with money live, but that's on the opposite side of town from where you're at now. So anyway, you guys are sitting there and waiting. We'll cut back over to the Swan. Unless you guys, Shugosh, do you have anything else you want to do right now other than
I was probably going to hang out with them, use mending on things that are broken as we're walking. not just helping with what I can until I smell food.
Mending
And then
actually
I'm
helps a lot, and it's oddly enough not
Yeah.
like things that are broken, but a lot of them are wearing clothing that they've been wearing for days and days
Torn
and days.
clothes, yeah. And it's
and
just simple touch
torn
cancer.
clothing is just as bad as not having anything warm, because their clothes are falling apart and they're living outside. So yeah, that is people like are very grateful for that, and once you start doing it, you see the other clerics start doing it as well, just going through and trying to help them mend gear, mend clothing, get them with more protection from the elements, basically. So you're sitting there. So Val, you, Aeom, and Utopia are kind of like with the tailor. He spends a good 20 minutes with each of you, measuring every inch of you, getting everything down. And he kind of like looks at Val and he says,
Hey, watch your hand.
he's like, "Oh, I am so sorry. That is so rude of me." And he kind of like, and he does the exact same motion again. And he says, "I think I have something that would be perfect for you, sir." And he says, "And it would need very little modification. You are cut of a very fine frame, and I have tailored for men of your measure many a time." He says, "So I have something that would need very little adjustments, and I think you would be resplendent in." And he goes walking over, and he pulls.
We'll get you everywhere, sir.
He says, and it usually does, but he pulls out a black and silver doublet with a pair of leggings. It's primarily black, silver lining. It long sleeved, kind of the puffy Victorian sleeves on the top, cap sleeve on tops. And he says, "This would suit you perfectly for meeting his lordship." And he says, "If you would like to try it on, I can make any adjustments that need to be made on site."
Certainly, and I will kind of move off to the side, and I'll go ahead and begin getting dressed and changing into that.
Gotcha. And he goes to you, Aeom, and he says, "It would, for any other tailor, be a challenge to try and outfit you properly." He says, "However, being that you are under my care," and he goes walking over and he says, "I have something that I think, it's something that I thought of once before. And it is a garment that is meant to be worn mainly in the spring, and I don't know what possessed me to bring it. But this might be the perfect situation." And he kind of pulls out what looks to be a very light, almost silken-like, kind of like almost like a bathrobe, a quarter-length bathrobe, but it is made of very fine fabric. And underneath it, there is almost like a white silk shirt that you just wear underneath it. And the silk shirt is, neither one of them are very warm as garments go. He says, but they're designed to like only only hang down to like not even mid-thigh. So they won't, it doesn't bind your legs. It doesn't require you to wear pants. And it's basically, very, very free-flowing and very light and very airy. And he says, it won't protect you much from the weather. You're probably going to have to wear a coat. He says, but it is very much like your gi. And he says, and it would fit you without much alteration needed.
It's actually kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, and it's kind of
I will call over from where I'm getting dressed. And you were worried.
Terrified, actually.
And it's made of it's made of this. The white shirt underneath is made of this white silk, and the robe itself is made like almost like a chiffon material with a floral print on it. And it's got a floral print, but it's also got like birds of paradise on it as well, swirled into it. So
Aeom does like a little spin with it, and like the edges flare out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's actually really pretty.
Oh my god.
And he kind of looks at you, Utopia, and he says, "For you, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to make some suggestions."
Yes, it's been a while since I got to dress up.
He says, "Would you like to dress up? Which manner would you prefer?"
Definitely style suited for the season. And if you have anything blue, that's my favorite color.
If I don't have anything, I can have something prepared. But for this evening, let me see. It says, "Would you prefer a gown, or would you prefer something more rugged?"
A gown. It's been a while.
He goes over to the rack, and he starts spinning through the gowns, and he says, "I have this," and he pulls out it's a dark blue gown. It is flared at the bottom, right below the knee, to where it kind of flares out into a bell. But from that point on up to the hips, it's very tight. As it goes up past the hips, when it gets into the upper portions of it, it has several layers of draped cloth that look like they almost shimmer and move separately. And it basically kind of, without detracting from the line, it feels like it makes it look like it's moving layers of wind. And so he says, "This will not need much modification." He says, "I had a client who was very, very much into framing themselves as elegantly as possible, but they were more concerned with aesthetics." He says, "So if you are willing, I would be happy to attempt to alter this for you."
Sure. I like it.
He says, you should be able to try it on to get a general fit and see what we might need to do for it. He says, "But I would be happy to let you try it on now, and I can make the alterations quickly, and hopefully we can have you ready to go in a few moments."
Perfect.
Aom's like tapping his hoof as this is happening.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. We've gotten to play dress up.
Why did you get the gown? Aom's
You
just
don't-
like, we're trading.
You look
Val kind of pokes
perfectly
his head out.
fine.
You want the gown?
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
You didn't
I mean,
say you wanted a gown.
You're not wrong.
Well,
It's
that's
beautiful,
fair.
and I'm looking forward to seeing my daughter in a dress for the first time. This is going to be quite exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean,
since I could-
I know it's not like fall court or winter court, but it's
The tailor
More of a
looks,
spring.
as he hands Utopia the gown, and Utopia go behind one of the little changing stands. As you go to change, he turns to you, Naomi. He's like, in my experience, I did not think you would want anything to cover up your legs, being that putting non-breathable fabric over fur usually tends to make her in a comfortable situation."
Great assumption, but that dress was gorgeous.
He's like, "Well, thank you." He says, "But I was also looking at frame, and it would be very hard to alter that down."
Aom like just clacks his hooves and turns around and walks away like,
Oh my
very, How
god.
dare you?
How dare you?
he like, hey, he didn't mean it that way. Oh,
It's too late. It's too late.
Aom has like a very like put off air, but he's absolutely kidding.
So so Utopia, you try the dress on, and it is probably a little bit too small, especially around the shoulders.
Yeah.
But
sure.
but it is the right length, which is what you were really worried about because you're very tall. It is the right length, and so the alterations are not going to be that bad. And when you look up into the mirror, how long has it been since you've seen yourself in a dress?
It's been like in a gown.
Yeah, a
It's
gown.
been-
A gown.
It's been a few months. I'd say it's been like half a year.
What type of memories does that bring? Because I remember the last time you saw yourself in a gown, you were probably going to some kind of formal event, maybe even you're coming out.
Yeah, it's a big oof. Pretty immediately.
debutante.
It's yeah, it brings back this kind of like weird combination of like nostalgia, but like the nostalgia that kind of hurts.
Yeah.
And
Because that was your life, you know what I mean? Everything you've been
Yeah.
experiencing now, completely alien, all of it's new. That's kind of why it's so exciting. But this, what you're wearing now, that used to be your life.
like she's back there for like a little bit too long. Kind of having a like just now starting to think of like what the fuck. Like, because I mean the last time that she was dressed up like this, she didn't know that she wasn't human. She didn't know what the deal with her family was. Her father wasn't dead. You know, there's that whole thing. It's just
Everyone that she was raised with is almost dead.
like
I think there's very few people left from the original staff except for the Seneschal.
So like everything's just kind of hitting at once.
That's fair.
She's doing those like pre-cry breaths where you're like, like trying to keep it together.
You can see as you're coming out, Val, and you're kind of like looking at it. It fits very well. He kind of wanders over to you, and with very practiced hands, he begins picking and tugging at it in little places. And he says, "This is an excellent fit." And his back is to where Utopia has been changing, and you can hear kind of Utopia's the hitching breath and everything like that. And he says, "That often happens when people see themselves in my wares."
And I would kind of lean my head over. Topia, you doing all right?
Great.
Are you great as in like you're actually great, or great as in you're gonna need a hug when you come out?
I think the second one.
Okay, I'm here.
He says, "Well, you're almost here. I just need to take this."
Okay. What you gotta do.
And you see he basically has a little piece of chalk and he's making little lines here and there, and he says, "All right, just go ahead and remove that. It'll take me maybe 10 minutes to fix it up." He says, "It should be perfectly fine." He says, "Lady Aster,
Call.
oh, I'm sorry. I was misinformed. I apologize."
I mean, she used to be Aster, but then I adopted her, and now she's Okal.
Oh,
We need to get pamphlets and just start distributing them.
We should. I need
We
cards.
should.
These I
Yeah,
like
we need
business
cards
like
for
business cards.
this. No, literally.
Utopia,
This is my dog.
Utopia
Her name is
call,
Utopia.
formerly Aster.
Prestidigitation a card. Oh, there we go.
Do it with some panache.
That's right. I'm a bard. Damn it.
Nothing's
So-
ever simple with him.
So you go to remove the garment, Val. He kind of like comes up and he taps on the side of the screen. He says, "Well, Miss O'Cow, may I enter?"
Yep.
He comes walking in and he says, "Huh, excellent." He's like, "The length is what I thought." And he kind of like you're standing there kind of with your back to him, looking at the mirror, and he's behind you, and you can feel him tugging at the garment here and there. He says, "This should not be a problem. I already have the seam set to be released, and that would give you more comfort around the shoulders." He says, and he kind of like walks around the front. He doesn't spin you around. He walks around the front, and he's just looking and judging it. And he's like, "Minimal alterations. I am very pleased with myself." He says, "Do you like it?"
I do like it.
It's like, "Very well. This would only take a few moments as well." He says, "I will let you give you a moment to change back, and I will go make the alterations. You should be all ready to go in a matter of minutes."
Thank you.
He kind of nods. Camille comes walking into the room, and she's looking down the hallway, and she's like, "No, you cannot go down the shaft without the elevator. No, Bobby, get him."
Oh, no.
No, Bobby!
I-
Take him away from the elevator! Don't throw him down the elevator! She turns around.
I'll
turns
poke my
around.
head out from behind the screen.
She turns
Everything
around.
all right?
She turns around. She closes the door. She leans on the door, and she's just like, "Oh my! Can we go back to the lodge and maybe the trolls will eat them?" And then she looks up and she sees you and Utopia, and she says, "Are we going somewhere?"
Yes. We've been requested by Lord Trask, so we're getting fitted for that.
The Lord? I've never done formal service ever.
Oh no. I mean, if you're coming with us, you should be a guest as well, I would think.
I'm your servant? That would not be proper at all.
She could be your date.
Dad!
She kind
What?
of
I'm just saying.
she's still leaning against the door, and she kind of lowers her head and she blushes and she says, "And that would not be proper either." And she says, "I don't." I'm gonna go check on the kids. And she opens the door, turns around, and like runs out into the hallway.
It really is okay. You can totally be your date.
Why would you say that?
What? You wanted her to be there, right?
Of course.
Then yeah, get her dressed. Then get her a dress and then have him go do the thing, and then she can bring her
Val,
in, and then she can do
Val,
the twirly thing,
Val.
and there'll be music and butterflies and what? Huh?
That's enough. Even I know that's enough.
This is my first time being a dad, and I'm a proud dad, and I want you to have all the things. So
The tailor kind of steps in as he takes as you change out of the gown and you know kind of drape the thing. He pulls it. He's like, "Well, you have the dress for it," and he pulls the dress over.
There's a lot of things to be proud of. Utopia's absolutely amazing, but this is her decision. So.
I mean, yes, but you've seen the way they look at each other.
Oh, absolutely, it is. There is sparks. It's like
Right.
lightning between their eyes. It
I
is.
feel like all I need to do is pull out my loot, and then it's over. Like we have
It
liftoff.
would be.
Right at
It
this
would be,
moment, there is
but-
a knock on Utopia's door.
What?
The door opens up and there's a guard standing out in the door, and he's like, I am looking for," and he kind of sees Val, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for you." He says, "The very large, tall orc who is terrifying said that
Grandpa.
Two of
I
them. So
no
Yeah, like with
the
Dragon on his back.
yeah
Dragon bone ass.
yeah
mother-
the entire dead carcass on his back. Yeah, that one.
Sure.
He said that I should come get you, and I'm terrified not to.
Period.
Why are we getting me? Are they in trouble? Is everything okay?
I mean, they're not supposed to be out of the hotel, so they're probably in trouble. But they don't. No one seems to be trying to do anything about it, and
Nobody
they're
would.
way above my pay grade. And
they're two very large orcs. No one is going to try to stop them. Let's be real here.
he's like, they're at the refugee camp.
That's a refugee camp?
Yes, because there's refugees.
I mean, sure, but they're in camps and not in
Hotel.
buildings and hotels such as this. It's like what? I don't. Is there not enough room in the town?
He says, there is. I'm sure there is. You know that pay grade thing?
Sure, right, yeah. That you don't get to make those decisions and those calls. I hear you, man. I hear you. Cog in the wheel.
He says,
Let me get some shoes on.
as you're leaving, the tailor has taken up half the room with his little crew, and he's like, "Go right ahead. This will be all altered. I have the measurements for you." He says, "You can leave when you come back. Everything will be laid out and ready for you." And he's like,
Awesome.
and as you're doing it, and he puts his hand on Angel's shoulder, and take that off before you go anywhere.
Aeon was like taking it off. Like, yeah.
I want to be pretty.
I will quickly beforehand go and like run to wherever Utopia is. I will like quickly like give her like a huge hug. It's like I'll be back. We'll talk more. And as I'll get in close and like rub your back and like Ask her out.
So what he's saying is he'll talk more, and you'll listen.
So, what do you got? Am, are you staying or are you going with Val?
Oh, I think I'll go with Val.
Yeah. Profits
Alright.
were mentioned. We need.
I heard there was a disturbance. My
There was a disturbance.
my holy senses tingling.
Talking about spirituality, and I'm not there.
I'm
Fuck.
not there. This is heresy.
Alright.
This
Well-
is not allowed.
It is coming up on 8:30, so let's think about taking the break. What should we use for a keyword?
Date.
Date?
Comment.
Huh? Did you
No
say?
comment.
What do you mean, no comment?
Because the automatic word for me is motherfucker, and I don't. Yeah.
But that's
What do
two.
you
That's
mean?
2 words. It can only
No,
be
it's
one
one.
word.
You
Down.
just do MF, motherfucker.
It should
I mean,
be down.
motherfucker is one word. I mean, if you use it in the colloquial sense, it's one word.
I hadn't even Frost. I don't know. So we have date. We have gown.
I won't let it go.
I like date personally.
I like
It is
date.
good, yeah.
Potato.
I like
Oh,
date.
yeah.
As in, you should ask her out on a date.
We're too chaotic to pick one word.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's go with date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna turn anti-spam on, which means you can only put it in once. So when I say go, everyone type in the word when I say go. Type in the word. Damn it! Damn it! Really? You're in the next room.
No.
When I say.
So I turned it on. Everyone type in the word
Yeah.
date, and it'll enter you in the
House under
contest.
control,
Get
DM.
your house in control. I have no control over this house. What are you talking about?
Oh, and then Milagros has to go and jump on. Just you taking the team too?
Yep. So go ahead and type the word date in, and we are going to go to break. We'll be gone for 10 minutes. It is 8:30 now. We will be back at 8:40, and then we will draw a winner, and the winner will get. Where is it? D-Bat. Wrong window. Where are you, D-Bat? D-Bat. Will win this mini, which is already printed and sitting over there. I just have to package it up, and we will contact you via Twitch, and you must be following us as well, so make sure you follow us. And you will be entered to win also that book set that we're going to be giving away too. Make sure you follow us, and we will be drawing the winner when we come back from break, and we will see you guys in 10 minutes. We will talk to you later.
BK
so
do crime.
excited.
BK do crime.
Excited.
Who win?
Woo!
Yo,
Frost!
Yeah, Frosted.
Mr. Miller, congratulations.
Motherfucking Charles.
He is
Whisper.
Charles Miller from Facebook.
One of our shenanigans loving motherfuckers that decides to follow us over here for our chaos.
I wonder if he's scared of dealing with the kids, though.
Yeah, he said there was something about a baby earlier.
Yeah, he's got babies, so he's constantly like ditching his computer to like bottle feeding.
Dad life.
Dad
I
life
mean,
indeed.
if he doesn't have to be here to accept it, he's in our channel pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Cool. Wait, what?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Because
Yeah,
you said
did.
it first, yeah.
He said he was the one who said date in the first place.
Well, I mean,
You win.
for that, take that as the nat 20 for suggesting the word to be.
Yeah.
Can't take it back. You win.
No, I gave an
well, you
idea.
got rewarded for giving an idea.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Congratulations,
fucking
Mr.
bad.
Miller.
You win.
You won.
win.
The machine has spoken.
Yeah.
That's like the algorithm.
Take it.
You will enjoy it.
No more sass.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Am's just shirtless. He just took the shirt off and left.
Period.
Aom grew up on a
You-
planet
He
of
can
ice.
run. No, literally grew up. Literally grew up in an igloo. He's fine.
Yeah.
So he's a hobbit and a satyr. Okay.
Yeah. Habater.
Save it.
Oh no.
David?
Save it. Save it. And I take my loot with me just in case.
I mean, I would assume that the guard is with them still, right?
Yeah. Wouldn't he take them back?
It's the guard that came to that they sent, right?
He just got so distracted and sat there and got tailored.
Glorious.
Mhm.
Oh.
Haha. I missed hitting one button.
Damn.
Hitting one button.
Damn.
But I was saying, what we were saying was that that Val and Aom, Val gets dressed quickly. Aom and Val go running out. They find the guard who originally brought the message is waiting for them. He leads them to the refugee camp, which is also, which is basically in the same way I described it, and they basically come running up to the refugee camp, and they see there's a lot of activity in the center of the park where they seem to be setting up I guess you'd say a soup kitchen. They have a large pot going. You can, as you come walking up, you can smell the scent of a stew being prepared, and you see that they're butchering up that large piece of meat that Grandpa left with, and dropping it into the stew pot. What are you, Grandpa? Are you looking out for Val, or are you just helping, waiting for Val to get there?
I'm basically just standing at the soup pot,
Mm-hmm.
making the food, and then doling it out to the come to get it.
Got it. Well, it's going to be a while before it's actually ready to be doled out, so...
Well, then I'm sitting over supervising the preparation.
Yep.
Aeom like walks over and
But
leans on
I'm not
Grandpa's
hard
shoulder.
to miss.
You're not what? Grandpa?
I said I'm not hard to miss.
Yeah.
Not hard to miss at all. No.
Alright,
Aeom, what are you doing?
I like lean on Grandpa's shoulder and I'm like, I didn't know you could cook.
One must fend for themselves in the wild, you know this.
Yeah, but that smells good.
Woo!
Thank you.
It does smell really good, Grandpa. That's very nice. Yeah.
Would I happen to have walked up at this point?
What?
I said, would I happen to have walked up at this point?
Sure.
Do I hear this interaction?
Oh my god.
Yes, you hear this interaction.
All right. Is there an empty-ish table nearby?
They only have one table they're using to prep kind of everything, so you can clear a
Okay,
spot off
so-
the table.
As I walk up and hearing this, I'm going to expend my last 4th level spell slot on Create Food and Water. I'm going to create 45 pounds of bread on the table and fill up all the water jugs that might have been. Everything's getting topped off. And there's now bread on the table.
Good lord, that's a lot of bread.
That is a lot of wow.
All right.
Making a lot of stew.
Yeah. So suddenly there is a
Damn.
huge amount of food.
It smells better than you.
Wow. I'll have you know I was just tailored and that man wears enough perfume for everyone.
It's true. Very, very perfumey.
Grab a loaf of bread and go sit by it.
You go sit by a tree.
Aeom's like picking off pieces of bread, just tossing it at Sugash's head.
Oh my god.
But then he's picking it up and eating them. I want to waste in front of everyone.
So this is where you guys went to. This is a refugee camp then.
Yes, we were told as we came in that there were people that were hungry. We had food, but I felt that they need their spirits lifted, and you have a fantastic way of doing that.
Ah, well, it's a lucky thing, and I pulled my loot out from behind me. It's a lucky thing I thought to bring this.
That was my hope. You typically do not go anywhere without it.
That's very true. Yeah.
So something happy and uplifting.
I can do that.
Right now.
And I will go out and kind of stand in the middle. Oh, and before I go, I was like, yeah, we're slated to meet up with Lord Trask later on this evening. I don't know if we'll talk about that more later. And I'll go out to them.
What time?
Did we get an exact time?
Evening.
Evening.
He said it would be several hours.
Yeah, we've got several hours.
The stew should be ready.
Excellent. Then in the meantime, and I will like flip my loot case open, take the loot out, go into the middle of the camp, and I'll just start playing something like happy and upbeat.
Gotcha. Everyone's seen. Oh, give me a performance check.
Absolutely.
You know that song that's been everywhere that you dance to the legs I'm floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I take a vote for advantage on this charisma check since they are
fair.
now getting a feast along with music.
Yeah,
So
I'll give you.
spirits would
I'll
be
give you.
lifted.
I'll give you advantage on it just because what you're really trying to do is lighten the mood and make everything feel better, not necessarily overwhelm them with your charisma. You know, so you're just trying to make the evening nice. Cool. So yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Thank you.
Advantage.
Now it's stuck in your head,
Oh, yeah.
Milagros.
Oh, I'm
Well, 'cause
glad I
I
got
saw-
that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Dang.
What'd you get there? Oops, I got the wrong
19.
button. 19.
Yeah, my other roll was a 3, so I'm very
That-
glad that
Very, very,
worked out.
very glad there was some advantage going on right there. So,
19, or was it 4 rather?
gotcha. So you basically you are playing something that's light. It's not really like you're trying to make everyone burst into dance. You're just trying to put out a melody that is kind of enjoyable and relaxing, and so you're definitely succeeding. You can see people's moods lighten. You can see that people are keep on looking over at that stew pot as the smell is wafting through the entire camp, and people come flocking over and just start snatching loaves of bread. At first, people rush over, and then when they just see all the freaking bread, people kind of just are like, I guess I'll take 2 then. And they're like, they're all sharing it out, and,
Nice.
and actually what ends up happening is a bunch of, because at first it was just the priests helping everyone out, helping you guys out and preparing everything. But as things become more apparent that it seems like things are getting better, all this food shows up, and all the fresh water stores are topped off. So some of the refugees begin coming over and trying to help out. They're just trying to help cook. They're prepping vegetables. They're doing what they can, and they're making sure that everyone gets bread. And the people they start picking up loaves of bread and taking over to the people the tents where there's some people there who are too sick to get up and stuff like that. Just making sure that everyone has something, and so
Nice.
the entire mood
when-
of the camp seems to be coming up.
Awesome. And as people start coming over, I'm gonna give a good strum on my lute and cast dancing lights through it, and have a couple of orbs show up and start kind of bobbing along to the beat of the music, and just kind of moving around the camp, just kind of bobbing while I'm playing.
You get a lot of children start just hanging out around you and watching the lights and applauding, when you make the lights chase each other around and stuff like that, and the kids are just watching, and they seem to be very, very, very intent on finding the joy that they can as much as possible. And so it everything seems to be getting lighter, and this is something because RJ, Grandpa and Shugosh, you've been here for a while. And for the first time in this entire situation, you see that little kids are kind of are playing with each other. You know what I mean? They're actually out and being active and moving around and playing. So, and that's the first time you've really seen that happen since you've been here. Before, the kids were kind of just hanging out with their parents and hanging out by their tent, and they weren't really doing much of anything except just sitting around. And now they seem to be actively trying to play.
So while this is going on, can I see the dwarf that I spoke to earlier?
No, actually.
No, sorry.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
short, so I assume dwarf.
That is racial profiling, sir.
That's actually a
He had a
macro
big
aggression.
nose.
Um,
At the end of the day, he just said he was tiny, so I'm gonna assume he's a dwarf.
Well, he's also wearing the robes like everyone else is, so I was going to let you guess based on his height and build that whether because he could have been a gnome or a halfling.
yeah, I wrote halfling in my notes.
Abe is just extremely small, so
I diagnosed him with halfling because that's what the note said, and I'm not going back to change it.
Wait,
So
is
I'll
that
change him
racial
to a halfling.
profiling?
It is my canon now.
He is now a halfling.
Period.
But Lacro's just a sign a race?
Yes, I diagnosed him with halfling because that's what I wrote down.
Oh.
So
Go
do
ahead.
I see him?
Yes. He's not so much able to help with like prepping the food and stuff like that, but he is like distributing bread, and he's making sure that he's keeping an eye on children so the adults can go over and actually help out with the preparations and stuff like that. And so he's doing whatever he can to help.
Hey,
Yeah.
you see that little man over there? And I'll say his name
Galen.
because I don't.
Galen.
Thank you. You should probably have a conversation with him. I think it would be enlightening.
Aeom stares at Grandpa for a good hard second. Okay. What are they? Why are they all wearing these robes?
That is part of the enlightenment.
Oh, okay. And Aeom's gonna make his way over to Galen. Excuse me, sir, brother.
And he turns to face you and he says, "Oh."
Aeom's still shirtless, so he doesn't have his robe or anything on.
He turns around, he's like, "Oh, yes. One moment. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was new people." And he goes over to a pile of them. He pulls out a blanket and he drapes across your shoulders. You have to be. He throws it up to drape it across his shoulders. You have to be freezing.
Not really, but that's really kind. Thank you.
He's like,
sorry, I've never seen your robes before.
And he says, well, it's perfectly understandable. We're rather new." He says, but we are followers of a new faith.
That's fantastic. What faith is that?
We follow the Night Mother.
Huh. Who's the Night Mother?
The Night Mother is an aspect of the Mist Mother, actually. The Night Mother is an aspect of the Myth Mother's anger and her need for justice.
Interesting. And, sorry, I should introduce myself. I am a follower of the Mist Mother as well. And I was...
Most are.
Yes. Aren't we? I was trained on Tyrell in a monastery to the Mist Mother.
Oh. I am very sorry for what's happening to your people.
It's... ends are inevitable.
Absolutely.
So, tell me about the Night Mother. I've worshipped the Mist Mother my whole life, but I've never heard anything about the Night Mother.
I don't know if anyone has until recently.
And why?
I only found the calling a few months ago myself. He's like, I honestly, from what I know, the Mist Mother and the Night Mother, as far as I know, they're supposed to be one. But at some point recently, the Night Mother gained, I don't want to say prominence, but gained a separate identity of sorts. And from what I understand, the Mist Mother herself has been less than communicative.
That's the fun part about faith.
Oh, yes. And it's very odd that we still speak to faith so much when we have a God who walks among us.
God who sometimes walks among us.
Oh, yes. But the way I heard it described best was, it's easy to have faith when you know.
Absolutely. And it definitely does help to be able to see her. But...
And it makes it harder when that voice goes silent.
All the more need for that faith.
But the Night Mother is not just the anger and the rage that the Mist Mother obviously had within her. The Night Mother is also about finding the justice, finding the cause of the rage, and then bringing that cause to justice, and using that justice to protect those who need protecting.
Interesting. Now, has the Night Mother ever appeared to you? Or to any of your followers?
Well, yeah. In my mind, she has definitely come to me in my thoughts and in my prayers. But
that's... Sorry, I absolutely understand this new sect, or I'm trying to. But, you know, darkness is an interesting part of your new sect. And with all the prevalent darkness nowadays.
Well, the Night Mother looks at the darkness as a veil over the flaws that dwell within us all, hiding them from our own introspection and clouding our judgment by putting doubt in our minds. We seek to lift that veil.
Okay. I can understand that. But, sorry, I did interrupt. To get back to her appearing, how did you hear about this religion?
And he says, well, as I said, I felt the calling. He says, but the biggest, I think, confirmation was when I met Lady Ashay. And he kind of like gestures over, and you can see there is a tall, slender woman. You can tell just by her facial features that she is an elf, and she is kind of conducting the serving line now as the stew is is ready, and she's kind of like conducting the serving line and organizing everyone. And she says, "Yes, she is a high priestess of the Night Mother, as much as anyone who has just come to the faith can be considered a high priestess. But she is definitely in touch with the Night Mother, and I know that through her I have felt the Night Mother's presence. I have not seen the Night Mother, but the Night Mother does not wish to... She wishes us to understand her calling, but to come to it of our own free will, and not to be manipulated into it by personal appearances and acts of favoritism. She wants us all to come to her calling holistically.
Absolutely. Could I speak with Lady Ashay? I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, she's a little busy, but if you were to volunteer to help, I'm sure she would have discussions with you.
Absolutely. I'm at your service. And Aeom's gonna head over and start helping out, like distributing the bread, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So Aeom starts heading over, and you guys, he kind of like introduces you very quickly to Lady Ashay, and he says you're here to help, and you have questions. And she's right away. She says, "Absolutely excellent. Thank you so much." She says, "Please," he says, "you can stand here with me, and we will take over for these two." And he kind of gestures to Sugash and Grandpa, who have been basically, helping out in the line and making sure that everyone's getting food. And she says they've been working very diligently, and it was this gentleman's idea. She gestures to Grandpa. So I think they should get a few moments to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and maybe sit down with these people who obviously appreciate everything they've done, and enjoy some camaraderie and have a meal.
Absolutely.
So at some point in that gesture, if nobody has noticed, now I straight ate my bread and passed the hell out.
You passed the hut.
I am
Oh, wow.
I am sleeping right now.
Well, then
That's
she
my life.
only.
I
In
am-
that
my
case,
God.
she only addressed Grandpa because
I am napping under the closest tree.
because
Oh my God.
Sugash is a seepin.
Hey, Grandpa. Sorry. Can I take over for you? Have you eaten?
Muted.
It helps when I am not muted.
I don't know what that means.
Sugach probably cast silence on us again.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, right.
even in his
It
sleep.
was a terrible dream the bard was singing.
Oh my god.
I can't help it that I sleep cast. It's a condition.
Val will remember that. It's in the book of grudges.
Val will remember that.
No, I have not eaten yet. There's been much to do, and we have to make sure that the stew is good.
Lady Ishay kind of puts her hand on her arm and says, "You have done everything that anyone could ever expect of anyone, and the stew is amazing." She says, "We have extra help now." She's like, "Other people have already eaten, and look, you've inspired them. They've come back to help with the line. So please," and she pulls up a bowl of soup and takes like a half loaf of bread, and she says, "Go sit with the people you helped. Enjoy the atmosphere you helped create."
So I'm gonna take the bread and the stew and kind of step away from the pot, and I'm looking for the old time. There's probably like one or two old gentlemen that have been through a lot of shit, and I'm just gonna go sit down with them and have my meal with them.
Gotcha. You see an older woman who is sitting kind of. She's actually sitting kind of right off the end of the table that they set up for prepping everything up, where all the bread's not piled up, and she's kind of sitting at the end, and she's right off the end of the table on the other side of the cook fire, and you can tell that she's wrapped up in a blanket, but you can tell she's sitting as close to the very large fire as possible.
Excuse me, matron, may I sit?
She kind of looks up and she says, "Oh, absolutely." She says, "Yes, come join an old girl by the fire. You've worked so hard." She says,
Are you cold?
Not this close to the fire. No, it's nice." She says, "I don't have people with me here, so it's been kind of sad to be without your family to provide warmth."
It has been many years since I have seen my family as well. Off on some cursed quest.
No, well, I wouldn't know about questing, but I know about absence. She says, "It's been quite a long time since my family moved to the capital." She says, "My husband and I chose to stay here, and we ran our farm for a number of years, until recently."
Was that the one with the roof caved in?
I don't know if the roof was caved in, but I know that it was the building was very damaged.
By the Astor estate.
Yes. Did you
Your
pass?
husband?
Did you pass by it?
Yes, on our way into town. The field is full of wheat.
It won't be harvested this year, I'm afraid. Andrew is no longer with us. And I'm afraid I do not have it in me to do that alone. He says, and unfortunately, the first thing that went in the attack were the horses. So
It is hard work for one who has seen many summers.
yes, it's I will, as soon as things quiet down enough, and if the harvest is still in, I will pay someone to go gather it and bring it back to the city, and I will most likely sell the farm and see if I can live out the rest of my days here. It won't be so bad. There's plenty of people around. I won't be lonely.
And yet you sit by yourself.
Yes. It is not an easy thing to be able to open up to others.
I know that well. Between me and my bull-headed brother snoring over there, it has been strange to be in the company of others.
Well, we've spent so many years at the farm, just the two of us. You know, we spoke to...
I sound like that troll right now.
You sound like a troll right now.
Rolled a 5 on a d20. Nobody's sleeping.
Nobody's sleeping.
Oh my god.
Well, luckily, most everyone is actually concentrating on eating right now, and the music that Val is playing is doing. Actually, Val, you begin matching the tempo of the music to his snores, just so he can accompany you.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Yeah.
But she's the lady says, I know nothing really of
Sounds
adventuring.
pretty damn good too. The performance check is 17.
Oh
like
shit! I missed the performance check.
Best snoring in the world. Get that shit, guys. Get it.
Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm putting that in the notes too.
It's the random shit that I love D&D for this. Like, roll the dice, make up a story, see what happens.
That's what you need. But the old lady kind of looks around. She says, I am sure that I will become used to all these voices and all these faces. But after the eldest child left almost 20 years ago now, and she says, it was just the two of us. And occasional visitors. When the Astors were in, we would often speak to some of the servants that would come down the road, and the family was always very good to us. My husband retired from service with them, and they granted us the farm. He says, it was just enjoyable to be part of that life. But when that life moved on, as I said, when my children left, the world was just the two of us. But it's all right.
Well,
it's the way of things, yes?
Yes, for every life there must unfortunately be a death. And
for every natural life, yes.
True.
He says,
Continue.
I've heard of stories of the ones who live well beyond their years. And she kind of looks over at the elf, and she says, sometimes it doesn't seem fair.
No, but what would this world be if everything was fair?
Maybe better, maybe worse. That's a question too large for a little lady on a tree log.
And for me as well.
She says, your friends have made a striking appearance in the city. And she kind of gestures over to Val, and she says, are you all staying long?
If I could have my way, longer than expected.
I think that would be good for the people here. You've spent one day and look at the changes that have already been made.
The difference it makes when you actually care about those around you.
I don't doubt that the people in this and Trask are well-meaning. They were just inundated with probably a scary amount of extra mouths.
So, forgive my forwardness, but you have lived here many years, correct?
Yes.
What can you tell me of the house that everybody seems so afraid of?
Afraid of?
I have heard vague tales of some dark sorcery in the mountains.
Oh,
here.
The Dark Wood.
I believe so. But forgive me, my brain is...
It's no.
Focus
You're new to this place. She says the Dark Wood it was always a old wives' tale. Don't go into the Dark Wood. People go in and never come out. They get lost there. People hear the souls of the lost calling from deep within the wood, and if you follow the voices, you never come back. It's the usual thing. Everyone has tales of their local haunts. The only issue is that the Dark Wood has grown considerably, and not in a conventional amount of time. And things have been happening. People have gone missing, actually missing. There have been sightings of monsters roaming the countryside that have not been here in forever. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the Astor Hunting Lodge was not a hunting lodge for standard game. It was a sport of the nobles to come hunt monsters.
You speak of trolls.
Amongst others, but yes.
Others.
Trolls, ogres. There was even some other creatures that I don't know as much about, but creatures that were not really seen elsewhere. Things that were tied to the wood itself. She says, I don't know what to do or what to say to make you understand, but this was a peaceful place. Especially with all the people coming in and hunting all these monsters. This has always been a peaceful place for many years. But now it seems to be going back to the way things were, and the people in Trask are wary of strangers. They're even wary of people who choose to live outside the town in the woods themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't live in the Dark Woods, and you came from the hunting lodge, you know how close it is. But it is all about not being from town. That's what the final judgment is.
That's why you were all together.
Yes, there is a certain misgiving about people who are not behind the protected walls. There are stories of people not being who and what they seem.
There seems to be a lot of that going around.
People get scared when times get dark. I wish I could make it easier for folks, but once again, I'm an old lady sitting on a log.
one thing to always remember is come morning the brothers will rise. Then a new day beckons.
And I'm sure that cycle will go on long after I'm gone. She sets the bowl aside on the log, and she kind of like shoves herself up, kind of grunting and groaning as she gets up. She's like, but that is for another day. And she kind of pats you on the shoulder, and she says, thank you again. This has been the warmest evening that I have spent in far too long. And she
May
kind
your
of,
evening be peaceful and the stars guide your way.
may you find peace wherever you walk, and may the Mist Mother guide your steps. And she kind of turns, and she walks off, and you see her walking towards some of the other tents, and she walks down a ways, and she kind of goes in and enters one of the tents.
I'll just sit there and slowly continue to eat my food and contemplate on the conversation that I've had.
Gotcha. So, Milagros. Utopia is in her room.
Time already.
She's sitting in her room. She has changed
Totally
back
not
into her
panicking at all.
clothes. The tailor is busy, and he kind of looks over at you, and he says, it's going to take a little bit longer than I expected. He says, one of my associates, and he glares at this young man who's kind of like looking very pale, has accidentally torn a seam, and we must make repair. He says, but that'll only take a few more moments, I apologize. He says,
okay.
but we will let you know when we're finished. If you would give us the room for a few minutes, I will make sure that nothing else happens and they have no distractions.
Okay.
Now it's time to play our favorite game. Have you met Camille?
Okay. So she's gonna go out into the hall and just see if Camille is still out there with the kids, or if everyone's like in their rooms.
There are literally children running up and down the hall screaming their heads off. But Camille is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. I'm gonna start like kind of.
One of the older boys is like, I swear, if you guys do anything else, to stop it. If you do it, she's gonna kill us.
She's gonna start like kind of like tapping on like doors up and down the hall, and just kind of asking if anyone's seen Camille.
Oh, the first door you tap on is the room right next to yours, and the door opens up, and it's Camille's grandfather, and he says, Lady Astor. Oh, sorry, Lady O'Call. He says, how can I help you?
I'm looking for your granddaughter. Have you seen her?
Oh, yes, she's here.
With you?
Yes, she was talking to her grandmother.
Oh,
She's, please come in. I'm sorry. I'm being so rude. Please come in. Can I get you a glass of wine? We seem to have wine in the room.
oh no, that's for you. I just wanted to have a word.
If I
with
drink
her.
that much wine, we won't be talking for days. Would you like a glass of wine?
You know what? I think I'm going to need it.
He's like, fine. He's excellent. He says, come on in. And you come in, and the room is similar to y'all's, with the setup with the sitting area in the center, and then two bedrooms a bedroom on either side of the sitting area. As you come in, you see that she is sitting with her grandmother, and as you walk in, her grandmother is talking to her, and they seem to be having a very focused conversation. And as you walk into the room, her grandmother kind of looks up and she sees you and she says, "Oh, Miss Lady O'Call." And Camille kind of pops up. "Oh, did you need something?" I'm sorry, I lost track of time. Are the tailors done? Did you need help with the dress? Did you need anything else?
No, the dress isn't done, but
Would you like me to speak to the tailor? Are they taking too long?
No, it's fine.
I'm
Something
used to
about-
handling vendors. It's fine. I can take care of it.
Something about a seam. I don't know, but well, I want something. I don't need it. I feel like it would be bad to frame it that way.
Okay. No. She kind of stops and she kind of takes a long breath and she's like, "Please, tell me what you need to tell me."
As this is happening, Val's on the other side of the camp, and he's suddenly like, "Does it? Ah,
Oh,
I believe."
oh my god. Whew, do you have plans this evening?
She says, I haven't made any direct plans. I mean, you have the dinner, so I assumed that you would need me to at least help you get ready for that. And afterwards, I'm assuming that you will need help getting undressed. Oh, the gowns are never easy to get in and out of, from what I understand. She says, but other than that, I had no plans. Maybe I'll try and go find a book vendor.
Well, you can do that tomorrow. The book thing. I mean, not the gown thing. I will definitely need help. But if you also need help getting in and out of a gown, I can help because you'll need a gown. Because I think you should go to the dinner this evening. If you want to.
I've never been to a formal dinner before. I mean, she kind of draws a deep breath. I have never worked for anyone as highborn as you. And I do not know what's proper. If you were to take me with you, I would just embarrass you. I don't know what fork to use with what meal, and sometimes when I get nervous, I get the hiccups.
Well, that's fine. Honestly.
And she starts hiccuping.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
There you see.
Leave me alone. Why is my fucking to follow me right now? This is targeted. This feels targeted. Why follow this motherfucker? Like, no. Here's the thing. I mean, the world kind of ended, so I don't really care a lot about the fork that you use. You're just really good at a lot of things, and I would like for you to join me.
She blushes and she smiles and half covers her mouth. And she says, do you think the tailor has anything on that rack that it might fit?
Yes, absolutely. I'll go talk to him right now.
Don't take over. You wanna kiss the girl.
I'll do it.
Okay, the fan's coming back on. I'm about to have a stroke right now, bro.
Hot and bothered.
Oh my god.
So she goes over with you back next door. What do you do when you get back with where the tailor is?
We need one more outfit.
And the tailor kind of looks and says, "Yes, miss."
Yes. This is Camille. She's with me. She will also be a guest of Lord Trask this evening. So she needs something.
Oh, she's like, and Camille doesn't even really. She says she kind of smiles and she nods. She walks right over to the rack, and she begins moving through and looking through all the clothing. And she says she pulls out what looks to be a very a trimmed and lined white poet's shirt. and she pulls out a pair of sateen slacks that are very light tan, and she just starts pulling these items out. And she pulls out a pair of, she reaches down, she picks up a pair of black boots. And she kind of like, she says, I mean, it's not a gown. She says, but I've never really liked gowns. She says, and if anything odd happens, I'm already in pants so I can run.
That's perfect.
Practicality.
That's
says-
absolutely perfect.
And then she kind of like, and she walks over to you and she's like, and feel this. And she's, holds out the pants to you. She's like, she kind of runs her hand down the pants. She's like, it's like fur and silk combined.
Yes, velvet, right?
Sateen, actually.
Oh.
She's like, it's wonderful. She says, and she kind of shakes her head and she's just like, I would just not be able to eat or drink anything because if I spill on anything on this, it'll be ruined.
Oh no, that's fine. You should still eat.
She says, yes, either way. And the tailor says, if you would like to try it on, ma'am. And she says, oh, please. And she goes behind the curtain. And she's behind the changing stand. After a few moments, she comes out. She's put her hair up in a high bun on top of her head. The poet's shirt looks like it's a little bit too big for her. But it hangs... It's loosely laced at the top, and it hangs open, and she has the pants. The pants honestly look like they're probably too small, but she has pulled the boots up to where you can't see that how high up the pants the pants are high waters, and she has the boots pulled up over that, and she doesn't really look like the same person. She kind of like walks over to the mirror and she looks and she says, well, and she spins around and looks at you. At least I clean up nice.
You do. You really do.
She says, I hope you don't mind. I know that it's common to be in gowns, but I just don't feel comfortable.
No, you do whatever you want. If anybody has anything to say about it, they can deal with me.
She's like, in that case, I will do exactly what I want, because I know that I will have nothing to worry about. She kind of looks at you for a little bit too long, and then she goes, I'm going to go tell my grandmother that I will be out this evening, and she's going to have to watch the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she leaves the room. And the tailor comes walking over to you, and he says, the gown is ready, miss, if you'd like to try it on one more time.
Yeah.
He kind of like, he hands you the gown, he walks and lets you go back to change into it. And he basically says, over the changing station, he says, if you would allow me, miss, he's like, I don't know if she can utilize it, but this comes with it. It's kind of an ensemble that I had thrown together for young men. And he kind of throws, he kind of like sets a cane down beside on the wall leaning up where the chain stand is. He says, there is a blade hidden in the cane.
Oh, okay. I'll bring it to her and see if she wants it.
He's like, oh yes, absolutely. And she says, and do let her know that she doesn't have to worry about anything spilled. She's like, all these are gifts of Lord Trask.
Oh, okay.
So, as far as I'm concerned, that's hers. And frankly, she deserved that.
She does. She deserves everything.
You hear him chuckle, and he says, I hope you both have a splendid evening. He's like, are you, can I check the fit?
Yes.
And he comes around, he checks it, he's like, excellent. And he says, he kind of looks at you all, and he claps his hands, and everyone starts picking up all the materials and cleaning the area they're working up in. And he kind of like bows to you deeply, and he says, "Have a wonderful evening." He says, "I will inform Lord Trask that everyone I was able to was properly outfitted for the evening. You should receive a summons shortly."
Thank you so much for everything.
He says, he kind of smiles at you, and he was like, "It was definitely worth it, miss. Have a very enjoyable evening." Lord Trask is a generous and gracious host. He says, but he is worried about what's happening outside of his small community. Be sure to assuage his fears if you can.
Okay.
He says, very well.
Ain't nobody lying up in here tonight.
And he goes, at about this time, his people are through gathering up all the stuff, and he kind of inspects the area they're in, and he's like, very well. And he's like, come. It's a way to bed for me, I think. It's been a very long day. And they all go filing out of the room.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up the cane.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna go and like use it to tap on the, the door of the next room.
Uh-huh. So you go and tap on the door in the next room, and you come in, and the door opens up, and she is sitting at a little nightstand, not nightstand. She's sitting at a little desk that is obviously set up with a mirror in front of it, and it's got like a couple of candles lit beside it. And she's sitting at the desk, and her grandmother is sitting in front of her, and you can see that her grandmother is putting makeup on her. And as she says, grandmother actually had some of her old cosmetics in her bag. I don't know why she grabbed those instead of something more useful. And her grandmother says, I think I found a use for it now. And she's like, drawing on, putting on eyeliner on her and stuff like that. And she's like, I don't ever think I've worn any of this before, but if you would like, she is apparently very... And she looks at herself in the mirror, and she raises an eyebrow. She's apparently very good at it. And she is basically... her grandmother's done the makeup to match the palette of the clothes she's wearing, so it's a very dusky hues. And it's very subtle, not strong, but with the makeup and the outfit and the hair, she does not look like the same person. She does.
Yeah, but like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I brought you one more thing from the tailor. Oh, and all of this is yours, by the way. These are yours now. The rack that he brought, those were gifts from Lord Trask. So those are your clothes now. You don't have to return them or anything. And this is supposed to go with it. And just kind of hold out the cane.
She's looking down, and she's like, these pants cost more than I make in a year. Well, before I started working for you. She kind of says, "Look," and she looks at it, and she's like, she's just looking down at the clothes she's wearing. She absolutely reaches out and takes the cane, and she leans forward, and she's like, it's got a silver wolf's head on the end of it, and a silver tip on the other end. And she kind of looks at it, and she goes, "Is that real silver?" And she kind of grabs and spins it around. She's holding on to it, and then she like, as she's looking at it, she's turning it in her hand, and it pops. And she's like,
"Oh right, there's a blade in it out."
And there is a silver blade about 18 inches long that's in the cane. And she's like, "Are you expecting some kind of trouble?"
Oh no, this was already part of it. He just, well, I mean, trouble kind of follows me around, but
she's like, well, then shouldn't you have the cane?
Well, it was supposed to be part of your outfit. If you just stay close, then I guess I could just take it from you and use it.
Better than me, I'll probably stab myself. And she's like, all trying to get the blade back in the She's like, okay, I got it. It's okay. And she puts in. She's like, I have a cane.
Yeah, all of it's yours.
She's like, she kind of looks at you and she looks at her grandmother and she says, "Can we step out in the hallway for a moment?"
Sure.
And she takes you out in the hallway, and as you come out of the hallway, she kind of turns around. She's got her arms crossed over her chest, and she kind of sitting there, and she's like, "This is the most, I don't know how to say, this is the most absurd set of events that could possibly be happening. We're in the middle of an apocalypse, and we're dressing up for some formal dinner."
Yeah.
Is it always going to be like this?
I don't think so. I mean, this is the first formal dinner I've attended in a few months. The apocalypse
I guess I shouldn't have asked. I shouldn't have asked you, because this is what your life was, wasn't it?
No, my normal is
not the apocalypse.
No, but my normal before all of this was, I'm realizing, very strange.
My normal was, cleaning houses and attending to people's affairs. I mean, it wasn't a horrible life, but it wasn't this. And she's like, "Siobhan, get off that!" And she goes running down the hallway.
Oh my god.
Alright, well, we'll cut back to the camp.
I used to have ears.
Huh? So
No longer.
no longer. So she goes running and chasing down one of the kids. But
now she has a knife.
Now she has a knife.
They don't know she has a knife.
No, wait a minute. One of them goes, "Oh crap! She has a stick! Run!" So you guys back at the refugee camp. Aeon, you are standing beside the priestess. You said you were going to wanted to discuss things with her.
Yep.
How do you broach the subject? Because she's basically, she's handing you bowls of food, and you're spooning the stuff in the food and handing it to the person. She's handing them a loaf of bread, and it's just kind of like an assembly line production thing. So it doesn't require a lot of concentration, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking with Galen, and he said that you are a high priestess, sort of colloquial.
Well, Galen is a very good person, and but they need to feel like someone's in charge. And I guess when all this started happening, I don't know if it was part of my calling or just my personality, but I kind of just started directing things. And it seemed that every choice I made seemed to work out.
Wow.
So,
Blessing of the mother.
I guess, yes. I mean, the Night Mother says that the Night Mother makes us feel as if we should all do everything we can within our individual abilities. And before this, I didn't really have any calling per se. I kind of just roamed about and went where the winds took me, because my people are not known for wanting to travel much. She says, much like our two tall friends, they tend to stay within their own. She says, but some families didn't choose that life and are not part of that collective. And my family happened to be one of them. So, I mean, when you wander around for several hundred years, you really want to find something to give yourself some focus. And probably about a year ago, I began having dreams.
What were those like?
I thought I was being reached out to by the Mist Mother, but they always involved storms and darkness.
Was there ever a tone, like a noise?
Occasionally. Like a deep bell.
Yeah.
But there was never any mist. There was never any shrouding. There was a lot of lightning. And frankly, I thought I was having nightmares. But after a while, I realized that I never really felt threatened. I just felt in awe. And then I began to have visions. I began to see things. And it got to the point that I couldn't ignore it anymore. I saw this, and she kind of holds out her hand, as the way I should dress. So I went out and I bought these same blue robes. And I found them quickly and easily, like I was meant to. I went to Tennis, which is a city on the edge of the Northern Range and the Great Wood. And the elves on Ayla live in the Great Wood. And says, I went to Tennis, she said, and I wandered the city for a few days until I met another person in a blue robe.
Did you get another tone?
Not really, but I felt drawn to speak to them. And we discovered we've been having similar dreams and similar thoughts and patterns. And that's how I met Bradley. And the group just kept growing. We didn't even know what the Night Mother was until, 6 months later? We were just drawn to help people in need. And honestly, Bradley was drawn to ensure that people were brought to justice. And it wasn't long before I noticed that I could soothe people and that I could heal their wounds and restore them from sickness. And it wasn't long before Bradley noticed that he had the ability to be very physically challenging.
Justice is a broad concept. It means something different to everyone. I just want to know what it means to you.
To me, the concept of justice is ensuring that those who transgress upon the rights and the freedoms of others are brought to heel and made to understand the concepts of loss that they are inflicting on others.
Now, my order is designed to learn. Now, doesn't that infringe upon the rights and the freedoms of those people? I understand you want to prevent harm, but doing harm is not the way to accomplish that task.
I don't know if this is something that I can debate with you. Because you see it as harm. But if you were to ask Bradley, he would see it as earned penance.
And everybody is absolutely entitled to their opinion, and I'm not here to change yours.
No.
I just want to understand your order, if we're not cousins in a way.
Well, we've encountered other followers of the Mist Mother, and the discussions have never gone well.
Is that mutual, or is that one-sided?
I guess it's mutual. I bear no animosity towards followers of the Mist Mother. It's another aspect of the Night Mother, and the Night Mother is an aspect of the Mist Mother. They're a duality, I guess. The thing is, I don't choose to have my faith in the Night Mother be anything more than what it is. A conviction to aid those who require it, to protect those who need it, and to punish those who deserve it and have failed to be punished by those who should.
And I guess we'll only ever disagree if we see how far that punishment goes. But until that day, I absolutely would like to learn from your side.
He says, I am more than willing to discuss and talk and teach as much as I know. I will impart everything that I have learned, felt, and seen. He says, I just don't want you to... I don't want you to think that you are going to agree with our tenets. I understand that fundamentally they are as different as night and day.
Absolutely. And I'm not here to be coerced. But I absolutely believe in open-mindedness.
And it is one of the major tenets of the Mist Mother. And it's one of the major points where the Night Mother and the Mist Mother disagree.
Interesting.
Because you see an open-mindedness in the value of justice and retribution. And she does not.
Intriguing. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your night. And I've sort of finished serving most of the people.
Oh yeah, no, you would. I'm assuming that this is happening between like rushes, I guess you'd say, and everything like that. So this conversation takes way longer than the few minutes we were just talking. And she says, "You have provided ample service, and please get a bowl and a loaf and enjoy yourself."
Thank you.
Most everyone has eaten, and if anyone wishes more, she kind of raises her hand. If anyone wishes more, she says, feel free to serve yourselves. There's plenty left, and eat your fill. Go to bed with a full stomach. Tomorrow is another day, and we will have trials before us once again. She says, we thank our friends for having provided us with this amazing sustenance. She says, and we thank all of you for the camaraderie you've shown. and we wish and hope you all have a good sleep. And she kind of like starts walking out, and the other people in the robes, and she goes over to a tent, and she basically kind of like pushes she goes into the tent, and the other 10 people in the blue robes all enter the same tent.
As Aom's like walking away, he just sort of mutters to himself, "Huh, I'm glad that we'll always be able to agree on some things."
She says, "Well," she says, "So what are you going to do after that?" I should say, Sphinx. How long does Val play?
He plays until he starts to kind of get worried for time,
Mm-hmm.
and he will kind of seeing the monks all kind of go into, or not monks, but the priests and clerics go into the tent. He will like play one last strum, like to end the song he's playing. We'll take a deep bow, and we'll kind of saunter over to Aom. I think we should be starting to get back. We need to maybe collect Groundpark and Sugash, because we do have that other thing probably sooner than we'd like. So yeah.
I'll get Sugash. And
Awesome. I will go and collect Groundpark then.
Aom goes running over, and he's got like a steamed potato, and he's just like wafting it underneath Sugash.
Potato.
Sugash. Ambrosia is being waved under your nose.
Oh my god.
Ambrosia.
Rome, can you hear us? Oh, you're muted.
Oh.
You're muted.
So you managed to dodge my half asleep.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was say warn me before you roll something.
Well, no,
Wakey,
that's
wakey.
whether or not he's gonna get punched in the face.
The fist goes like right by it. Aom. It's like right beside Aom's head.
He's like, whatever.
We've got to get to the manor now.
Potato.
And you need to dress up.
Why are you?
What?
Why are you?
Oh, well, I know that you like them. It's not covered in blood, though. And it hasn't sat in your
That's my
pocket.
hand voice. Better than. Why do you smell so different?
Well, there was a man, I think I said before, he had a lot of perfume. Like, a lot.
You need first.
I only caught half
You're
of that.
you're talking so low that your mic's not picking you up, sir.
Yeah, no, literally.
Fuck you, noise gate.
Yeah,
You need to move. It's gross.
Well. Yeah, okay, fine.
You move, please.
Aom just steps out of the way.
Oh my god.
I know you love sounds. And,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
where are we going?
We're going to Trask's Manor. We're gonna have dinner with him. I don't know if you need a tailor,
Of course he would.
but... Do you know what a tailor is?
You-
They're new to me.
You have a tail. Why would I be?
Well, I originally assumed that it was an aspect of giving other people tails. Like, you know how coats have tails to make them look like
No.
penguins? Okay, that's
No.
well, some people wear things that make them look like they have tails. And I figured that maybe everybody else wanted one because they're pretty great for
Why are
balance.
we here?
That's a really broad question. The Mist Mother generally, or it's generally accepted
No,
that the
no.
Mist Mother put us here.
Tails and cost.
We need a tailor for you. He's gonna give you clothes and make you smell worse than me.
I will kill him. What? Why would you endure this?
I think I'm just generally a patient person, and I want everybody to like me. So I generally just do what people want because I don't want to cause conflict.
And they'd like you for that?
I don't know. I mean, you don't like me, and I've been doing this for months, so maybe it's not necessarily effective. Some people it works on, though.
You're still sitting on me.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That just won't
You're
change.
live.
Yes.
Say it.
That might mean I tolerate you.
That's a step.
And it's been months.
Aom's like,
It can go both ways.
you can go both ways?
Bet. Chat, we need a ship name. We did this last night.
Aom's like blushing at this point, and he's sort of just like hopping on your knee.
Oh my god.
Bouncing on you.
Aom's still shirtless.
Dude, the others of your order hear it when you scream in pain.
No, we're not connected like that.
So it would only be you.
It would only be me.
People are sleeping. You should probably move before we see how loud you are.
Oh,
Aom's
that
like,
phrasing, buddy. Phrasing, buddy. I'm writing that down.
Oh.
I
Aom's
mean, he's
like,
a little goat and I'm a big orc, so
Yeah.
either way, it's gonna be loud.
Aom's just like,
There you go.
Like,
There's
looking
the-
There's a
away,
market
like-
for that on Kindle.
Naom's just
And
like
probably
looking
a couple
away.
other
His
websites.
face is completely red. Like his face is redder than my face right now.
That's amazing.
It's like,
That's so amazing.
Good. That's fun. I'm actually gonna pick up the shield that I was laying on, and I'm not gonna put it back on. I'm gonna put probably 5 bowls of stew on my shield and just follow them up.
Following them up to the back to all the way back to the
Well, we're all leaving, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really haven't eaten. I'd assume majority people have eaten, come and gone. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I've been asleep for at least a short
Couple of
rest,
yeah,
so.
yeah. At least an hour or so.
So yeah, I'm gonna fill up food since I haven't eaten anything, and I have like 4 bowls of stew.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You
yeah.
know, we're
Regard.
going to eat.
Yeah,
where
dinner.
We're going.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
It's
I
his
don't know any
appetizer.
different. Like I just woke up. Like I'm grabbing.
No, this
food.
is Val saying
And-
this to Shugas, not me saying this to you.
I have a serving tray of stew in front of me, holding my shield up like a platter. So I really don't. I don't at all.
Your is that your appetizer? Was that what's happening?
Food.
Food.
Aom's like,
Food.
Aom's like,
That is so fair.
Aom keeps
Rock
like
on, Jimmy.
gesturing back and forth, like between like Sugash and like Val, and he goes,
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy. He is.
Did something did something happen? Did something happen?
Aom just like starts like running away.
It's okay, guys. Something will happen. Tune into my AO3. My username is. I'm kidding. No one gets to know what my AO3 is.
Should we open an RP section in the Discord for Kingdoms of
Yeah,
Mist?
that's about right.
Right at this point, you might as well make it an OnlyFans.
It better be an NSFW channel, my dude. That shit better be age restricted.
Kingdoms of Mist fanfic OnlyFans.
That's a 21 on that sprint.
Oh my god! So Aeon basically teleports.
You can already move like 10 times faster than anyone else here.
Yeah.
So I mean, you didn't.
Run.
I mean, you didn't. You didn't.
That actually wasn't supposed to be a mace.
Oh my
But it's so much
Oh.
better that way.
So I'm gonna take that with disadvantage. I probably
Oh,
Misses again.
Yeah, I tried to backhand.
He doesn't want to hurt his hand.
Holy shit. Oh my god. You know what? This is a good place to wrap for the evening.
Yes, it is.
So before we fully wrap, I will say that Grandpa steps away from the party and walks to the river and like washes up in the freezing ass fucking river before I join the rest of them, because I've still got fucking blood on me and shit. Like, I haven't had a chance to clean up. I just killed a bunch of fucking trolls and then cooked a bunch of food for people. Like, I smell like way too many different fucking things at this point.
Well, let me tell you,
Grandpa...
the river is very refreshing. That is a mountain river. It's runoff. It's not runoff. It's basically just ice water.
Perfect.
Nice.
Dugaj gives absolutely no shit.
Absolutely no shits.
I am not watching up. I am eating one bowl stew. I'm assuming when we come back from the story, we'll have made our way to the castle. So the process of this, 2 of those bowls are for the 2 guards that are standing at the gate.
Or at least that's
okay.
So that was
hotel
the
so
next
that we can
interaction
change.
was for those guards.
Yep. You're going back to the hotel first, but yes, you can definitely go to the give those 2 bowls to the guards. It's changing.
I mean, I'm eating my appetizers as I'm walking to dinner. I'm not stopping.
What about the potato? Did you eat the potato?
As long as you're holding it, it still smells better than. Helps me keep my food down.
Aeom holds onto the potato then.
That's Aeom's emotional support potato now.
Oh my gosh.
I love it here.
Well, G fucking G, motherfuckers.
Oh hell
I'm
yeah.
not actually sure if you have paid attention, Aeom. There's only been 2 times I've ever given you shit about the way you smell. And the first time was when you took a bath.
Yeah.
At the Astor State, I gave you shit because you smelled wrong, and now I'm going to give you shit because you smell like glitter.
You smell like glitter. Oh my goodness, guys.
Okay.
That was an excellent session. Thank you all so fucking much. If you guys want to, these people are amazing and they create amazing stuff. You can find Rome and RJ over on Obliviously Adventurous. They are branching out. Oh shit! I need to get. Do you guys have set up a link tree or anything yet?
No, I have not, but I actually am in shock because I thought you were talking about totally somebody different. You said talented and amazing, and we were not what came to my mind. Like, that was anybody else on this panel.
What?
Shut up!
I disagree
I mean,
entirely.
like, maybe keep that good on a
Sorry.
little Clem.
That entire passage just
I was gonna say I just sat here and watched all that. Yeah, shut up.
I mean, I'll make it. I'll even take 2 gushes. It's over 10. Oh, yeah. So all right.
I missed another roll.
No, it was a deception of 11.
Oh my god.
So weird to not see that in the 30.
Fucking Rome.
Rome has almost a plus 20 to my deception. Like, I don't need to roll most times.
No.
Gotcha.
It's
Oh,
like, all right, make a roll.
but to
it's
double
like
check,
really high at 26. I'm like, yeah, it's a 48.
Frank, to double check though, you guys are broadcasting on the Facebook for right now, though, right?
Yes. Do you?
West Haven is staying on. No, you're good, brother. For some reason, I'm talkative. It's weird.
Hey, I'll fucking take it. It's your channel. I'm just the crier.
Yeah, we have. In more ways than one, Chris. You definitely do cry when you take it.
Apparently.
Yeah, West Haven is staying on Facebook. We have been slowly trained to the big fucking words, which is why you're the crier and I don't talk. We have been moving, because that's an easier word to say than transition. We've been moving over to Twitch, and holy shit, why am I talking?
You're doing
I love you guys.
fine.
We are moving to Twitch. West Haven's still on Facebook. And I make posts about stuff I don't understand. So,
Gotcha.
thanks.
And so West Haven is on Sundays still?
Sundays at
Yeah,
7:30.
Excellent. That's 7:30 Pacific, right?
Correct.
Excellent. And so,
Fucking
guys,
Numbers
shenanigans.
are hard.
yes,
Numbers
and we're
are
gonna I'm gonna bug Rome all week to make sure that he sets up the link tree so we can put everything into one link, and we will change that out on Obliviously Adventurous' little tag and chat. But for now, you can go to their
I need
Facebook.
persuasion roll, sir.
What?
I need a persuasion roll.
And I just do annoying rolls.
Well, no, like I need a persuasion roll, whether you're gonna succeed here or not. To get Rome to
Hang
do
on,
what you're asking
hang
to
on,
do.
hang on. First off, let me put the.
I mean, I got
put
a
the-
15 intelligence check, so I'm not a.
Well, here is. I'm adding my modifier into persuasion.
No, you're not allowed to blind roll this shit, sir. No, okay.
But with my modifier, it's still a 7. It's still a 21.
Yeah. A plus 17.
Yeah, I'm amazing. But anyway, yes. If you guys want to follow Oblivious Adventures, you can still find. I think you can find almost all the links on Facebook.
Check from you, sir, because I'm going to cost it on that with an insect.
Okay, let me put my modifier in for
Which
for
is a
this.
16, so let's get your deception to find out if you're amazing or not. And
Okay.
if I believe it.
Well, I rolled a 2, but with my modifier, it's a 24.
With a 22, you changed it.
Anyway.
No.
Anyway,
I have
No. You changed the roll, so you're going to make a fucking sleight of hand check. No, make a sleight of hand. You change that motherfucking roll, and you got to beat a 15. So you make
Okay.
a sleight of hand, you pass that shit. We're good. I'll leave you alone.
Okay, but that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
but
calling you on D&D bullshit right now. Like, this is a
But
D&D
I
showdown.
No modifier.
why? Why is a flat roll?
I mean, because it's a fuck.
I have advantage, but either way, I automatically have advantage on sleight of hand rolls.
You should have done that roll. Kidman.
Anyway,
No way, motherfuckers.
so if you want more of this chaos, go follow Oblivious the Adventurous. And if you want to keep up with everything that Sphinx is up to, you can find his links here. Thank you very much, Sphinx, for being here tonight. Milagros, as always, can be found, and her links here. And follow her for amazing content regarding writing, novelization, and everything about organizations you would ever want to know for preparing any type of written anything.
Also follow me for keyboard ASMR.
Yeah, for keyboard ASMR is definitely there. And follow Rob on his socials. And remember,
She'll set up an OnlyFans for that. At 100 subscribers, she'll buy a mechanical keyboard.
Wow.
Yeah, just click it and clack. I want to get like a light up typewriter style keyboard for when I have.
Oh, yes.
That's for 500.
I actually got
Sell that shit.
I actually got yelled at by my previous cast because I had a light up mechanical keyboard, and it was just like I couldn't type anything. It'd be like, Ray, mute. We can hear. That's louder than your voice. So because apparently I type very, very hard. So
I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do once I get I guess I'll just have to keep taking notes on this laptop because the keyboard's pretty fucking quiet and I type very fast.
yeah. And then you can follow Dinner and a Game socials there. Remember, we're still doing the giveaway on TikTok. To get 1,000 followers on TikTok, we're giving away. Is this the right one? Oh wait, I got the right screen.
Tower of Power.
The Tower of Power, which is right here at 1,000 followers on TikTok, and then for 1,000 followers here on Twitch, we're giving away this set of D&D 5e core books, which is the foil set, which means they're the shiny covers, not the standard covers, and they come with the GM screen and that sleeve to hold all the books in, and it's a DMG Monstrous Manual and Player's Guide. We'll be giving that to one person when we hit 1,000 here, and of course Tuesday, we will be giving another mini giveaway. And if you want to find out which mini we're giving away or to vote on the mini we're giving away, because I'm going to put a bunch of minis up in our Discord channel, and you can vote on which one you want to see as part of the giveaway, go to our Discord, join our Discord, and you will be part of the Dagger family, and you'll be able to vote on the mini that we actually give away. So go ahead and join us there, and other than that, you gotta come with. Aww,
That's adorable.
that's
Aw.
adorable.
Anyway, follow me on AO3.
We'll give him back in just a second, Flexi Shrexy. But thank you all very much. Let's go ahead and see who we're going to raid tonight. Who's on? Let me hit my raid button. Doop. Hyper RPG. Yeah, I never raid them. They got plenty of folks. Oh, the Grouch Couch is on. You guys ever watch the Grouch? I've seen you guys over the Grouch Couch before. You guys want to go hit up the Grouch Couch?
Do it.
They do full cosplay RP sessions. And
Heck yeah.
I haven't even seen the new season, so I don't know what the costumes are. So it should be interesting. All right, guys, we're going to go raid the Grouch Couch. Remember, at dinner and a game, we always save you a seat at the table. Be careful out there. Wear a mask where you can. 6 feet is beautiful. And remember, we will always save you a seat at the table. To what?
So until you have to duck.
Until you have to duck. It's still beautiful, though. But remember, we always
people in real life.
But we always say we see you at the table, so please stay healthy and stay safe so you can come back and join us at this table week after week. We love you all very much. We will talk to you next time, and thank you all, and thank you to my amazing cast, and we will see you again in 1 week for Kingdoms of Mist right here, and in the meantime, be safe. We love you. Bye. And we are raiding. I finally figured out how to use the raid button properly.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, it took you what, a couple years?
That reminds me, I need to get
So
you
Rob,
my
how would you
information
describe
for...
Aom's narrative voice? Like
Oh, yeah.
Prose.
I have no idea.
Okay,